Hey, 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 what's up, y'all? What's up? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Hope y'all all enjoying a good day. Here in New York, it's like 70 something degrees. It's not too hot, not too cold. It just look damp. Look like it's gonna rain, but it's not. So I just chilling out. So yes, today we're gonna be doing Mizzle Social Corner. Remember I said we're gonna do Social Corner on Sundays now, so we'll be alternating between Mizzle Talks and Mizzle Social Corner. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Join in the chat, y'all. Get everything settled here. So as you see, the title is about yes, yeah, it's water right now. Hey, CM, how you doing today? So today we're gonna be talking about traditional versus modern values and men and women when it comes to relationships, dating, all that type of juiciness. So we gonna have a talk about that. All right. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? Look at that, see your style.
Today's just
Hey,
not my day. What you drinking?
some water.
Sure you are.
Yes, drinking water.
Sure you are. Mhm.
Yeah, drinking water today. So we're gonna get to it. So I ain't gonna try to make this live too long today because it's crazy to get prepared for a panel as well. So it'll be an hour or two, probably 2 hours. But we got some things to talk about, y'all. So, all right, let's jump into. Let me see. Yeah. Uh, hold up. I'm about to say, I know she know I'm doing live now. I don't want for me. Yes. All right, let me do intro. We ain't do my intro for a while, y'all.
Mizzle Social Corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle Social Corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle Social Corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle Social Corner. I got a question for you.
All right, y'all. So let's jump into my normal updates, shows updates, and questions. Let's do that first. Let's share the screen, and what is it? So how's your week, Miss Crazy?
Yeah. That great. That
It's
great.
been that.
That great.
All right. So let's do an update. And while I'm at it, I'm going to share. If y'all didn't know, this past Friday, me and Auntie Momo did a little late night live that talk about the encore.
Late
So
night. Late night?
yeah,
Late
yeah, we're
night.
like
That,
12
that
o'clock.
that was not late night. That was let out hours. It was like 1, 2 in the morning. I was like,
Yeah,
you tried it. I was like, that's let out hours. Nice try for the late
yeah,
night.
it was.
Late
It
night
was.
is like 10, 11. Nah, that was let out hours. I know what y'all be doing. Y'all be at the let out,
Yeah, it
ready,
was like
like,
midnight, and it was 1 o'clock my time and midnight her time, and we will try to do it. She might do it earlier when I'm at work, so like that. So she want to go back to her Friday night cap. So we'll see how that goes. That's right there. We might continue because it is continuing. I think that we will alternate between both our channels. And let's see. So how y'all like about Encore? Yeah, enjoyed it.
I liked Encore. I loved R&B divas, so I definitely like Encore.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And we'll talk brief a little bit about it. Yeah, it's interesting. It's joined. The ladies is bringing it. That Cherish girls, they was too much.
Oh, the
They was
Boxy twins.
yes, they had too much ego for no apparent reason. I was like, girls, y'all didn't
And
sit
they
down.
singing was subpar. I was like, I know
Yeah,
you
that's
lying.
what I'm saying.
Like, I know you
I was
lying.
like,
I was like, I know you ain't shady and your singing is subpar. I know you lying.
yes, CM
Like,
being grown, yes,
I was like,
trademark.
oh, they tried it. I was like, this. Again, I loved R&B divas, so I am all here for us. All here for it.
Okay, yes.
Shamari better get tons of like, she better get tons of songs on this album.
Uh,
Album. I say it real loose with air quotes. Album.
album, right? Yes,
Album.
this is
Now I
a
don't know about all that. Now they may get a couple singles out of this, but I don't know about album. But okay. Whatever works for them, cause baby,
well.
I ain't even gonna be shady. Let me not.
So we did it on a live night. So she's trying to do that more often, and we might incorporate Love at the Lockup because it's preparing. It premieres next week, Friday. So we might not have that live that weekend or that Saturday, but we'll see how that goes because we might alternate. We got to work that out. But
Can I tell you, I'm not ready for Love After Lockup. I'm not ready. I'm not
uh,
like I l- see. Love After Lockup is quality trash TV. It is
yeah.
high quality trash TV.
She said, "I don't like broken promises. I don't like Keely, and they need to split into multiple groups." That's Alexa. I said in my review.
I'm getting tired with some promises. I know,
Yeah.
y'all ain't giving it to Keely. Okay,
Broken
you got me,
promises.
baby.
I said it like I think I mentioned in my live before on the thing that it was too big of too many people in one group. So I said they should split them up, but the way how Aubrey tried to split them up, I didn't like that. She was being shady. But at the end of the day, I was like, I feel like they should split the group up. But hey, if they make it one big group, if it make it work, make it work.
You know what? I don't think they should necessarily split them up, but I do think that they should alternate split up songs and rotate them out
Yes,
because
yes,
I feel
yes,
like Pam has a very unique voice, right?
yes.
You can get
Mm-hmm.
Pam on a good 2-3 songs, and that's cool. You know what I mean? Maybe a hook here, a verse there, this is that, and kind of like break them up so their strong suits kind of show. You see what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And just rotate them out like that, not necessarily separating them out because I mean Pam ain't got to be like triple X,
Mm,
but she could still sing about something something and then the
yeah.
person behind her could be triple X, balance it out some,
Mm-hmm.
something. But yeah, I'm not here for Miss Aubrey, but I'll say this: she came reality TV ready. She know the game. She know the games to play. She know
So
what to do. She was
yes.
ready for it. She was like, I'm gonna give y'all a show. Me and
Uh,
these Bopsy twin sisters over here, we about to get the mess going. The mess.
yes. And Aubrey could go. Yeah, Aubrey could go too. I don't know. That girl. I would like to have D Woods because she get her fair chance. I don't know what happened to her.
I like D Woods. I
Yeah.
think I just need Aubrey to let whatever's in her face settle. Like it just
Yeah.
needs to settle.
It's too
Because when she
puffy.
was singing, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, she like Jigsaw. I was like, oh wow. I was like, ooh,
Yes.
it just needs to settle. Whatever's in her face just needs to settle. And I think
Uh-huh.
she'll be okay. But I, vocally, I'm not too mad at Aubrey. It's not like she don't sound terrible. She sounds like she does the most, but she don't sound terrible. But if they could just, maybe alternate out lead singers, hooks, backups,
Yeah.
just rotate them
Yeah. Change
around a
it up.
little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Like, you know what I think of when I think of this experiment? I think like what a DJ Khaled album sounds like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
sometimes he'll
Mhm.
have multiple people on the same, like 2 or 3 people on different tracks, or just
Yeah.
one of them, and they all
Yes.
on the album. So maybe they do like a DJ Khaled kind of album that's just kind of broken up. Either way, I'm here for it because I love R&B divas.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So we will continue doing that. So every Wednesday, look out for my review. Hey, Brandy, look out for my review for the encore. And then on weekends, me and Auntie Mama gonna work that out and see if she gonna do it by herself. If she gonna do it earlier than 12, then I just catch the playback or put on a little chat in my work time and just make comments, and y'all will still get my review. Okay, so let's get it. Let's get to it. So Johnson Cabaret is still going on Zeus app. It's on Sundays. Baddies as well on the Zeus app. Davis Next Man is season 2 is coming out June 22nd. That show I'm just gonna watch for enjoyment. I'm not gonna really review that or talk about it. I just want to go watch it because first season was good. It was deep. So I will watch the second season when he's grown up now. So let's see how many demons he's going through and stuff. Catfish, y'all know I still do Catfish. Season 9 is on Tuesdays. And no, it's still season 8, not season 9, season 8. And continue going on reviews, so keep supporting that. It still has been the most review on my channel, so I like it and I enjoy it. Stuff like that. We need to amp up the people stuff, but it's been good so far. Brandy, all right, Wonder World season 1 is on Stars on Sundays. The next week, when we do Mizzle Talk, we're gonna talk about growing up hip hop. We're gonna talk about Wonder World, and we're gonna talk about Sisters. So I'm gonna catch up Sisters. That will be my freaking mission during the week to capture on Sisters, and we're gonna talk about that. And since I'm not gonna do Sisters the recorded version, I'm just gonna talk about it on live because to me, we try to sit there and take notes. I'm just gonna watch it, and if you fool that, and we cut them up on Figuring Out Live. So next week we'll talk about growing up hip hop, Sisters, and Wonder World. Right, so that should be enough, and maybe any like 1 or 2 social topics, and that's that. Potomac season 6 is on coming out July 11th. We have a trailer, and I think sometime before the trailer, before the season starts, I might do like a reaction to the trailer, or at least talk about the trailer. So stay tuned to that. Sisters on BET is on Wednesday since premiere season 3. So I saw a little bit of trailer that Andy still about that Gary. I said, oh my God, that's one reason why I didn't want to watch her Sisters like that, because I can't stomach her.
Nope.
Oh, this girl. So ready for Potomac. It seemed like it will be a good season. It seemed like go back to where it was and everything. And we'll see. It has been some talks on. No, they ain't even talk about the season itself yet, but it has been talked about behind the scenes about Wendy and Giselle. I know Giselle said she's not with Jamal anymore. I think Robin said.
When was she ever with? When did she really get back with Jamal?
She was never with him. Yeah, so let's say that she was never with him, but she said she was with him. I think Robin said her wedding's postponed or something like that. So we'll see how that goes.
Her wedding's postponed due to COVID, just like Giselle Furniture and her makeup line. It's all postponed due to COVID.
For real. So we'll see that. Candace mentioned that her album's coming out soon. She finished up the album and she's ready to tell us the news. So I said, oh, I can't wait. But we know she has been on Twitter and social media lately commenting about her and Ashley and all that stuff, and how Ashley's lighter skin and she got treated different, better than the rest of them. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll see. I said in my Instagram post, I agree with what Candace said, but I ain't gonna really make the whole video about it. Other people said that. Y'all watch Bonnie and them. They all did a video on what Candace said. I said, Candace said, calm down, girl. I said, Candace name left and right now. I said, go on, calm down. But I'm ready to see what that new girl in the new season, this season, gonna come out. Mia, I'm ready to see what she's gonna do.
Shoot, there's like 3 massage envies right next to my dang on. There's one next to my job. There's one next to my house. Then there's one like right in between. I was like, shoot. I was like, oh, she the massage envy lady. Okay. Okay. She massage lady. I ain't even mad at her for that.
Yes. So I'm ready to see what the season.
I am not looking forward to Potomac. I am not. Not at all. I can see. I'm telling y'all, I'm telling everybody on this channel right now, I am Team Karen. I am a Karen stan. If y'all come for
Okay.
Karen, we're gonna have a problem. Now, everybody else on the show, okay, whatever. I'll make little comments. Don't y'all come for Karen.
Don't
Don't,
come for
don't
Karen.
y'all come for Karen. Not Karen.
Ashley and Michael.
Now,
Yeah, they should have
that's
been
the only
gone.
person.
They should have been gone.
You know what? I
Yeah.
don't even think Ashley should be gone. They can keep Ashley, just drop Michael.
Just
Michael
drop
got to
Michael.
go.
Right?
Michael is my problem. Michael is my problem. I don't believe in cutting off a woman's check just because her man is trash. Cut him off.
Cut him off.
Cut him
I
off.
like that.
Cut
Sure.
him off. I mean,
But
listen, they need to do him like they did Baby Brooklyn's face. Blur it out.
yeah.
Blur it out. No commentary. No
Yeah.
talks about. Can't even be mentioned in the episode. That's how I need them to do Michael. Like, pretend like he's not. Make it look like he's not there.
Well.
That's what I need. Because I can't. I cannot with that man.
Well. And yeah, so Potomac will be coming back. So I will review that. So stay tuned for that. Let me see. Ashley defending Michael and victim blame. Plus, that Katie. Oh yeah. That Ashley, she is something else. She dropped baby number 2, so we'll see. She probably still go back to her old ways. She probably never left her old ways. She just calmed down a little bit, but we'll see if she will cut up this season after she have babies now. Let me see. Grown Up Hip Hop. We will talk about that next week, so let's stay tuned to that. So it's a lot to talk about on that. And these people, Pep, she's something else. Stan, she's talking too much. Yes, yeah, be honest. It's too much.
I told you this is much better than the other franchise.
Yes, it is. Definitely is. So we'll talk about that, y'all, on Mizzle Talk. So stay tuned next week. Ready to Love season 4. It should be finishing soon. So it should be down to the wire. Yes, Pepper is going out. She is. She is going out. Very sad, and it's not a good look for her. Ready to Love should be ending soon, and I'm looking forward to see who's the last little Pixar. So it will be talked about. I think not probably next week, but the next time we do Mental Talk, and then hopefully by that time it'll be the finale and the Pixar done already. Married to Medicine.
I just can't wait for that reunion. That reunion gonna be messy.
It will be
and
juicy.
I'm excited for it because
correct.
I've been watching some of their like interviews, like once the cast member get kicked off.
Yeah,
they've been going on doing these interviews, and Ron spills all the tea. Ron messy. Ron is messy boo. Ron is ultra messy. I was like, should you be saying that? Should you be telling the behind the scenes production team? Should you say that?
I don't know. Sure.
Oh my gosh. Like, what's your contract look like that you could tell? Like, oh no, that was a lie. Production set that up. That didn't happen. This wasn't this. This is not how that happened. This is. I was like, can they do that early? The reunion ain't filmed yet. Is that a thing?
For real.
But I was here for it.
Well, feel free to comment, y'all. Y'all ain't forgetting. You can comment. BET Encore, we mentioned that. It's on Wednesdays, the same night as what show is that? Sisters. That's the same night as Sisters. So they come back to back on BET. Put a ring on it. It's coming out. That's June 25th. Last Mizzle Talk, we talked about the 3 couples. So I'm excited for that. And so watch that live, y'all, so I could get the scoop down of who the 3 couples are and their little background story. It's a little interesting, especially that first couple. I want to know what's their tea. That 14 years.
How y'all been together that long?
That's what I'd say.
Listen, I have a thought because I have my mom's sister. She never got married, and that's my uncle. Like they got kids together. They have been together like 40 some odd years, but they never got married. So I was like, but neither one of them wanted to get married. They just wanted to be together. So there are people who never want to get married, but if one wants to get married and the other one don't, I need the background story. Like, what happened?
For
Cause I
real.
didn't. That's a mess. I
For
need
real.
that. I need to know that.
Sure, we will stay tuned for that, yeah, and we'll be reviewing on that. Reviewing that. Love at the Lockup next week, June 18th for Friday. So stay tuned for reviews on that. And Love at Atlanta. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, y'all. Love and Hip Hop is coming back after a whole year hiatus due to the pandemic. They are coming back, and Atlanta will be the first one to brace our TV screens on July 5th, day after Independence Day. Oh, they know where they were going. They said, "Oh, y'all party down now. Come and watch our show after that." It's on Mondays VH1. So Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I mean, I used to review
Are
Love and
you
Hip Hop.
excited for them?
Huh?
Are you
Oh, I'm
excited?
I don't know. Love and Hip Hop general, it has been like an on and off relationship with me with them. Like I watch it and then I stop watching and then I go back watching it. I was like, oh no. So I was saying we had a whole year break from it. So I said, let me come back and watch and see how it is because we had a little break and refresh our minds. And it also gave a little coin because everybody loves Love and Hip Hop. So if I could maybe jump the bandwagon and just probably do a review on it here and there, see how it goes, if the numbers as well. And we talk about it. If not, we just go talk about our lives.
You know
And,
what I'll say? I'll say that they filmed the encore a year ago. So it's been in production for a whole year. And look at how good this show is. Maybe because they took this year break, we've had a chance to kind of regroup. Then maybe production will be better and it'll hit us with the original Love and Hip Hop that we originally fell in love with. I honestly think more shows need to take a break. I truly do. I really, really feel like more shows need to take breaks. Like, not to be funny, but like, could Real Housewives of Atlanta take a break? Like, could they just take like a year off, let them regroup, figure this out a little bit, and then come back? Cause I need a break from y'all.
For real.
Please stay. Y'all and y'all social media antics, not just the show, but and the social media. Like, I need, because sometimes after a nice vacation, you come back refreshed, you come back good,
Yes, you
come back ready, and that's what I'm hoping that they come back ready.
For real. So we'll see how this Love and Hip Hop girls coming because some new girls, some new freshers faces gonna be joining the cast in Atlanta, on top of the old ones, you know. And then
Yandy in Atlanta.
Yeah, Yandy's coming on this one, and then we got Rashida, of course, and I think Spice gonna be on that. The Cardi Red, you know, the favorites. So they're gonna be on the season. All right, so potential social topics gonna be on my social corner. Today we're gonna talk about traditional values and modern. I don't know, this not in particular order, so it depends what I feel which going to be the next one to talk about. Why do people glorify the person's struggle story? This is the person who is a trust fund or stereotypes of each, so we'll talk about that. Pick a side. Does society influence or impact television, or does television influence or impact the society? And another topic is the ride or die mentality. How far and how much will you ride or die for your significant other? Will you sacrifice your freedom for your spouse? And next, and the last thing, well, it will be more topics, but this is only 4 I have so far, is respectable politics. Who makes up the rules and what will become of you if you don't follow? And we'll have some different scenarios. So this is topics that I came about based on stuff I watch, stuff I hear, stuff I listen to. I read on it, and I just say, all right, this could be a social topic. So we can talk about that. All right, y'all. Let me stop sharing that. Let's go. Oops, stop the screen. And let me share this first article. So, traditional versus modern values in dating, relationships, anything. What do you think about when you see a traditional woman and a man? What do you think about when you see a man and woman who is a modern? And what comes to mind? What stereotypes or what kind of qualities do you deem or what you see in a person that possesses these type of values. And I know a lot of people does have a mixture of both. You could be modernized with some traditions values, and I know usually people who really strictly traditionalists don't really care for modern values, but some people are mashing the both in some way, shape, or form. So my talk today will be about what you prefer and what scenarios that you view yourself as more traditionalist, what scenario do you view yourself more of a modern, or do you have mixtures of both? And I have also an article of different like topics, and we're going to see which y'all viewpoint on that. And let's talk about that. So the first question, what is a traditionalist value? What do you consider as traditionalist? Tracy, chat, you go chime in too, and I tell you my viewpoints. While I'm sharing the screen, y'all can get on. Let me share this screen.
When I think of traditional values, I think of like traditional gender roles. Like you're the man, you pay bills, you take out the trash, you're the spouse, you're the wife, you cook, clean, take care of the kids, and it's more of like a balanced partnership of a household. You do this, I do that. We don't necessarily mix roles too often. We could, but we don't necessarily mix roles too often. But this is kind of typically how that works. So when I think of like traditional versus modern, I think of people who stem towards gender roles.
Okay, yeah, I agree. So, what do you call traditional, and how Eurocentric are these values? Are the values? Okay, let's get into it. All right. So, my viewpoint of tradition is more of like the gender roles. It's like how in history, how the men are the head of household, the breadwinners, one who take care of the finances, take care of things, and does the protection, all that stuff. And then the woman is the more nurturers in home type people who, because in history, women usually it wasn't working. So it was mostly the men. So it was that value of men working and doing the things, and then the woman stay at home and take care of it. As the society is shifting more of women workforce, more women are liking the aspect of working. Even though a lot of them still like the traditional lifestyle and it wants to be in a traditional marriage or relationship, because they would say, "Oh yes, like my man can take care of me and everything, all that stuff." But as the younger generations coming out, a lot of them would say, "Nah, I don't want to be staying home. I don't like cooking. I don't like doing this. I want to work. I want to be a breadwinner and everything, and stuff." So, in my viewpoint, I feel traditional values us that strict gender roles, like you said, Tracy, about how it is one way you define it, you know what's up. And also, traditionalist people usually don't change their values. They stick with it throughout the years. So that's what sometimes, I don't know, for example, let's do an example of a reality TV show, Love and Marriage Huntsville with Marceau and Letitia. Even though she agreed with him in the beginning that this is what we're going to do, but deep down, she knows she wasn't trying to be a wholehearted traditionalist woman. She wants to work. She wants to do things and contribute to the household. And because of that, and that shift, that change, and I was getting upset with him. I said, "Gosh, man, like let her do something." But at the same time, you agree to that. And sometimes men usually don't change their values. You meet them 20 years old, this is what they value. Meet them when they're 50 years old, it's the same value. So once you start, it's how you finish. So that's what I see that. It's like you gotta sit down and understand what the person's coming from. And one of the articles we will talk about is discussion. Let the partner know what your role are and what you are expecting. Because if you don't show that, if you coming in and thinking that it's gonna be free flowing, it's gonna be a problems. And usually relationship does last a while when both parties know the expectation of the others. All right. Any thoughts on that?
But do you think someone's core values should change? If these are your core values, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what you believe in. Should those change just because you got with someone else?
No, I don't think it should change. If you want to change because you want to change it, but I know most people have core values, and that's who they staple on. So I don't think they should change themselves for someone else. That's what I say. Get someone who alignment with your values. That way, it will be much of a change for you. If you want to change, that's on you. But most people I know, once you get set, and I tell people, once you get a certain age, you usually don't change what you think and your core value. You say, okay, I'm 30 years old. I'm not going to be flipper flopping all like this. So once you hit 25, some of them start already knowing who they are. That's why I was like, you have to get to know who the person you're being with, all that stuff. So that's that. And I know different races, different cultures have different values of what's tradition and what's not tradition. And like some cultures have arranged marriages as tradition. Some cultures has this, that the parents have to choose your spouse for you. That's called arranged marriages. Or in certain ways and certain things you have to do. How you dress, so it's about all things. So it is very mostly culture centered of what your traditional values are. And you have to know the person you're with that deems what's traditional or not. Especially given how disruptive communities can become. I would say I think the values discussion is interesting and nuanced, especially given how disruptive communities can become. Yes, they could be very divided and it's very divided and very disorganized, just in the way of how people view things this way and then this way and nitpick this different things, and it has a hybrid of ideas, mash in one. That's why I think some people have mash of both traditional and modern values. Even though a lot of people now these days are becoming more modernist, but they still hold some traditional values in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, like
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh, like you know, really have people don't hold both values, or they have.
Listen, I will say this. So one of my homegirls said,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, yeah, when we go out on a date, we go Dutch. Ain't nobody about to pay for me nothing. I take care of me. I do for me. It will be a cold day in hell if you think you're gonna take me on a date and I'm gonna pay for myself. It will be a cold day in hell. Like I could have took my so you really took yourself on a date is what you're telling me. Like he didn't take you on a date. You took yourself on a date. Don't tell me you're gonna take me on a date and then say we gonna go Dutch. That's not a date. That's a meetup. That's a hangout. I could have invited some friends for all of that. You lying. I know you lying. And she is dead serious. That's true. Oh no, ain't no man go. I was like, oh okay. Mm-hmm. I was like, it'll be a cold day in hell. It will be a cold day in hell. Like
we're gonna talk about that too, about dating and all that stuff. All right, so I'm gonna read this part. While traditional gender roles are rapidly dismantling with time, they still influence our outlook on relationships. Many modern men and women are adamant about freeing themselves from traditional stereotypes, but underlying expectations based on gender still exist. Each relationship is unique and is true. It is the duty of the individuals to define who is responsible for what. Do not make the mistake of get into a relationship without establishing a clear understanding with your partner about your roles. When outlining your roles in a union, ask yourself, what are the traditional gender roles I adhere to and how will they affect my relationship? So number one was defining your relationship philosophy. They gave a little example, something like what you were saying, right? I was having a conversation about gender roles with a friend this week who prefers a mix between modern and traditional. Tying his manhood to providing, he was perfectly comfortable with the idea of paying the majority of the bills while his significant other covered their leisure activities. Having a similar exchange with a close woman friend yielded a different response. Rejecting the idea of staying home to take care of the family, she stood firmly on the notion that she would take care of herself financially. She believed that by allowing a man to take care of her, she will have to relinquish control and power over her life. These opinions are reflective of just how much our understanding of gender roles influence us when it comes to love. All right, I will stop there before we move on. So that's paragraph, that statement when he was talking about oh I'll send you again. Bro, all right, let me send it, try to come in. Instagram. So Tracy, what do you thought about that little statement in that paragraph about defining your philosophy? Let's see.
I do believe that when you go into something knowing what your expectations are and what the expectation of your partner is, and it's clear, it does make for an easier transition in a relationship, because we both know what we're getting ourselves into.
Mm-hmm.
And we also then know what is up for negotiation and where the wiggle room is. Because, some things don't always stay the same. Things change depending on circumstance. But at least you have kind of the core rules, or not necessarily rules, or you have the core standards that you function under, which then may tend to make other things a lot simpler. Because my mother taught me when I was young: choose your battles.
Yeah.
Choose wisely. Choose your battles. If it's not that important to you, let it go. Because there will be something that is very important to you, and you just have to stand in it. So to choose wisely.
Oh, look at him outside. Look at this. Look at bro outside. How you doing?
Chilling.
Guys,
what's going on? So this paragraph when she was talking about her two friends, how one said he was okay of paying most of the bills and the other person paying the leisure activities, and then the other friend, the woman, she said, "No, I don't need no man to take care of me. I could take care of myself." And she don't like the idea of staying home, being a stay-at-home mom and stuff. So, and then she mentioned how she'll go relinquish her control and power. So, that's going to my next question about traditional values and the qualities and the traits that people possesses. So when she was saying release control, she might have said she don't like to be submissive and powerless, and just be at home and make the man be a dominant and she be a passive person. So what do you think about some of the qualities and traits that people have?
That aspect goes both ways. A man can feel the same way. He can be passive and want to be dominated, just as a woman can be passive and want to be dominated. These gender archetypes that we try to put on people are not fair, okay? Because I know a lot of women that are stronger than men, and I know a lot of men that are softer than women, and that doesn't mean that they're gay. It's how God created them. So these gender constructs, we need to push this shit off the fucking table with a big boot. For real.
I'm gonna go with no on that one. I'm gonna go with a hard no on that.
Come on now.
I'm gonna go with a hard no on that one.
Come on. If a woman can be abandoned and raise a whole child and take on the mother and the father role without even pretending, that just kicks it out the fucking window, because she did what had to be done.
But why should she have to? But why should she have to? Like,
she shouldn't have to, but she did. At
some point, it needs to also be.
So it's not just. It's a point of strength. That's what it's a point of strength. You taking on without saying it's a duality or anything. It's natural. You do it. So all those gender constructs are trash, because a woman can take over a man's job and the other woman's job.
Okay. So I will say this. So for a while, I was a single parent and I raised a man. I could never raise a boy, because there are some things that he will go through in his life that I will never understand, because I'm not a man. So so although we say, oh, da 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 da, there are just some things that I'll never be able to relate to. And it's not because I don't want to. I may have an idea of what that is, like in my mind, like, oh, I know what that is, but I don't truly know what that is. Like,
but that's why it's a double-edged sword.
Why do I always have to be the strong one? Why do I always have to be the person that's like, oh, okay, you're strong enough, you could do it.
But how?
Go ahead.
But you were strong enough.
Not.
You were strong enough. I know. You were strong enough, though.
Not.
You did it. You did it.
Absolutely not.
You did it.
Absolutely not. Okay.
You did it.
But that's not saying nothing. Like, there are things that you do that you don't necessarily want to do, like to do, you're not necessarily good at, but you do it. It doesn't mean that you're good at it. It doesn't mean that that person who you're now raising has a well-rounded sense of self, because you did the best that you could, but the best that you could may not be where the bar of raising a good person becomes. Then you have
Yeah,
inadequate people running around the world, dating, marrying, getting with people, and hurting other people because they are not completely adequate in themselves. Because there are some things that, as a woman, you can't teach a man. Like, you just can't. Because
true.
there are some things about me that, Mizzle, you may know, like, okay, you're a woman, I know, but you don't really know what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, you have an idea, but you can't truly relate to, be able to empathize, sympathize, and do things with, because you just don't know. So I also think that the idea of saying, oh, just throw them out the window, let it be, also is where we come up with raising people who are not well-rounded individuals. And
yeah.
why
No, I
therapy
see.
is so
No,
greatly needed,
I get
because
exactly what you're
there's a
saying, but
gap.
you
There's
still,
a gap.
but I think, just like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Everything you said is right. It should be a husband and wife, dual family to raise that child adequately. But in the long term, you did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but if I did
that's
it and
why
I raised
it's not fair. It's not
inadequate
fair.
person, is that, so if I do it and I raise an inadequate person, does that then say that is a better job than giving my
No.
child to someone who could have raised them adequately and gave them a better, well-rounded life? So there are, when people say, like, oh, let's just throw this out of the window and move past, no, let's not. Let's come back
Yeah.
to it and then say, hey, you know what? Let's redefine what this looks like,
Hey, Auntie Lola.
because throwing it to the wind is also why certain things that now just seem cool and acceptable and okay is okay,
Yeah.
because we just said, oh, forget it. Let's just throw it out and let everything go. I tell people all the time, like, I don't have daddy issues. So I have real great standards because I have dad issues. I grew up with my daddy. He was in my house. We was cool. Where I have female friends who will let men do anything, say anything, act
Run over them.
crazy, will act a fool,
Hmm.
because they're searching for that thing that they didn't get growing up. They didn't get that from the first man in their life who was supposed to love them, who was supposed to teach them
Yeah.
what love is,
The
who
anchor.
helps them
The
with their
anchor.
standards, who helped them with their self-esteem. So we have also on the other end of the sword that you raise people who are inadequate, and sometimes you get the mamas who, because the dads left, oh, they bitter heifers. They are bitter to their core, and they are
Hmm.
man hating,
And they
man
even hate
bashing,
their kids.
and
They
then
hate
they
the kids
throw
too.
them into the world, and now your potential son or daughter got to deal with them. Who wanted to get him that? Like, you are a trash individual raising a trash individual, and then my
Who had
child
a
gonna
baby
have to
with a
deal with
trash
you because you
individual?
trash, and break my baby heart because y'all trash. See, we need to figure out some sort of better balance, because some of these heifers, I can name you about 5 or 6, who I would look at them and be like, would you really want to date their kids? I mean, look at how they treat. Would you want to date somebody that came out of them? Like, and no, ma'am, Pam. Mm-mm.
So yes.
Not none
So
of
the
us.
so the aspect of the relationship. So what qualities or traits that most people possesses of a traditional relationship in a man and a woman? So what have you seen? What have you heard? Or what have you known of some of the qualities or traits that people possesses? And that's why the lady in that paragraph rejected the idea. She said, "No, I don't want to be I don't want to be taken care of because I don't want to be taken control of." So, what have you seen or heard or anybody that y'all know possesses some of these traits, or what are the traits that is possesses in a traditional man versus a traditional woman? See,
Okay.
I go first.
So,
I go first. I think most men who use that notion of taking the household or being the top and to be the patriarch, and this is what I know. I don't know if it's everybody's opinions, but I see them mostly be domineering. They're very controlling as some aspects. They want things their way because they provided everything. They're usually not really hands on with the children, and it is all about finance. It's all about money, and let the woman take care of the other things. So they more the alpha. The woman's more submissive. He's more aggressive, assertive type of person. And it could be disciplinary in a relationship when it comes to the children, and that's that. And the woman aspect doesn't say that I agree with everything, but this is some things that I have seen in traditional relationships. Woman is more nurturing, take her home, doing the day-to-day thing, the cleaning, cooking. They might be more submissive to the man. They like take the supportive role, and that's that. Now, in a more modern, we get to the modern relationship, but the more modern is like usually the reverse or different stray away from the traditional values. So what do y'all see in y'all aspect, in y'all opinions? Ooh, you muted. Bro, you muted. You muted. Okay.
Sorry. Okay, got you. My bad. So I don't understand because all those
How you doing?
I've constructed myself as an individual to break down all those gender constructs because I said again, like it's everybody can have their how they feel about it. But I don't want to be offensive, but I've seen women do some magnanimous shit without a nigga. But that don't mean that she doesn't deserve, you know what I'm saying, the husband, the provider, and everything like that. You know, so I'm kind of biased on this situation. It's like shit. And I've seen my brother, a single father, do the same thing. So I don't think I have a dog in this fight. I'm honestly, I don't think because I'm like, I mean, you can do anything. Shit, fuck that.
Okay.
Freeze your eggs and go have a baby after you're 40, after you get your whole career. It's fuck having a wife. Go, you can be a fucking single father right now without having a wife. There's so many, the constructs are all broken down. Those gender roles are null and void. But people are allowed to have them. You know, they're allowed to have that point of love, that, and the children more so, the husband and wife, the mother and the father, the upbringing, the establishment, those bricks that you need to create a person, you know? But to each his own, and now I'm just going to leave it at that. I can't be judgmental on this point.
Like I said, there's no right or wrong. We just say our opinions in our discussion. Tracy?
Yeah.
So I grew up in a traditional household. So I grew up with my mom and dad. My mom didn't work until I was in like elementary school, like 5th or 6th grade. And I'm the baby of 10. So for me, I seen a traditional relationship that worked. As in, my dad made all of the money because my mom didn't work at all, and he'd come home and give her the money because she balanced the checkbook, she paid the bills, she took, and it was, he didn't want to have to do that on top of going out and working to provide for the family. So I think a bigger part of the issue is you can have a traditional relationship and it be healthy and be great. You can have a traditional relationship that is unhealthy and it be terrible. The same way you can have a modern relationship that is healthy and is great. A modern relationship that is toxic and it is very unhealthy. So I don't necessarily think it's even so much traditional versus modern. It's toxic versus non-toxic, where the more if it do. Because I have a cousin who he's married, he pays all the bills, he takes care of his wife. He also has 4 girlfriends and 11 kids.
What?
None of them with his wife. None of them with his wife. Well, he actually has a wife, a fiance, 3 girlfriends, and 11 kids, but none of them with his wife. And he could do so because he pays all the bills. He takes care of the house. He does whatever. And it is very kind of toxic.
Yes.
It's traditional. Listen, I say kind of toxic because because he doesn't like cut off access to the bank account to the wife. Now, if she had no access to money, she couldn't leave, she couldn't do what she wanted. and she had to stay for all that foolishness, I'd be like, oh, that's extra toxic. But because he doesn't like hold money over her head, she is just like, he knew who to pick when he was looking to pick a wife. He picked somebody who, for the right
He can
amount of
take
money,
advantage
you would
of.
stay. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You see what I mean? So it's like, so like, I'm like, if she likes it, if she's okay with it, if it's in her ministry,
Exactly.
I can't judge her because it damn sure ain't in mine. But it's in
Because
her ministry. I mean,
because it's survival tactics. She taking care of herself and she taking care of hers. If that's how she feels, she has to survive.
listen, she has a hair salon. She has a beauty supply store.
Where's
She
mine?
has 2 rental properties. Huh?
I said, where's mine at? I want to be the supply store.
Look, I was
Sign
like,
up.
but he has multiple other spouses and kids on her. I mean, so it's like toxic-ish. It's
Wait,
not,
is he a Hebrew Israelite?
no, no, nope. He just a floor. He's just a floor. That's all. He's just a floor. That's it. But he can afford it, so she's happy. I mean, she's
That's
happy.
one
It
thing.
works for
That's another
her.
thing.
I
That's
could.
another thing. See, this is my opinion again. A lot of y'all not gonna like this or whatever,
Mhm.
But if a man can afford, um, not just financially afford his children, but emotionally afford his children, I believe he should be able to have all the children he wants to across the board. If every woman knows, don't be married if you want to have a wife in Israel and so on and so forth. I don't have I don't think that's wrong, but you have to be able to afford those children financially and spiritually. That's just my opinion. And if he can do it, I say he's with it, but he just got to be honest with all the women that he's with. He's not out here having a woman. He's not married to 2 women in two different cities. They all have to be on the page, and that's just my opinion. And if he can, just as a woman could, come on now. I know that's a mixed subject right there, so I know that's a bag of nuts, but
No, because I definitely understand that there are some people who would prefer for you to financially support their child than to emotionally support the child, right? So I do understand that there are people out there who would prefer financial support over emotional support, but to help raise a well-rounded little person,
They need your.
I'm gonna need some like physical parenting. Like, you need to be
and
around.
that's said too. You can't raise a man like you can raise a girl, so it's going to take the man to help raise the boy into a man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Oh,
there's
Exactly.
levels to it.
Yeah.
There's so many levels to these constructs, but they all have a place. But again, they've all been broken down. So what do we do now to reconstruct them, to put them in where it can work within our environments? Because everybody's not based on the old school ways. Come on, if we are all 80s babies, if not 70s babies, come on. And we was raised up in a certain way. Take your ass outside, your cousins and stuff like that. Your mom and dad is there. But past, I say about 92, these niggas don't have the same value. They don't.
yeah, that's true. There's more modernized. That's what I say.
They
Now,
don't have the same value.
as the generations coming across, more people becoming more modernized, and we're gonna talk about that. And because some people still criticize some people modernize, like if the roles were reversed. For example, what about the man stayed at home? Because I asked my friend that the other day. She said she wants a man who be there and take care of everything. I said, what if you make the more money and the man decides you want to stay at home dad, you be a very home? She said, I wouldn't want that. I said, okay. So do you want like a equal relationship, or you want that more traditional? She want the more traditional. But I said, what if he would stay at home, she stayed like that? So I was like, and would that be less of a man if they stay at home dad and everything? Because the world is still programmed as thinking that men should be the breadwinners.
I
But
don't know. I think that's up to the wife, how she feels about it.
mm-hmm.
Because sometimes women put their whole career, their whole life off to they put off everything, and to wait to have the baby, but by the time they 40, they pissed off because they didn't have the baby because they was like powering through it and pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many levels to this conversation. I feel it needs to be a town hall.
I think it goes back to your statement that you gave earlier when you were like, "Oh, if I do this, then that." Like, we set our boundaries. We set our standards for our relationship. We know what we both want, and
Yeah.
that's what we do. So I think it's one of those things where it needs to be a conversation piece.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
make more money than you, and we both want kids, logically, the person who's going to be staying home is you, because I make more money than you, and we both want kids.
It's a
Logically,
team
you would be
effort.
the
It's a
person to
team
stay
effort.
home,
It's a team
and
effort overall.
that's really what marriage is. It's a partnership. It is give and take. Sometimes you're going to put in more effort. Sometimes the other person is going to put in more effort. Things will absolutely flip and change and be different depending
After
on
dropping
the
the dime.
circumstances of the relationship. Because at one point, I I may be making more money than you, and then your career take off, and then you blow me out of the water, and then our relationship then will necessarily stop. I may be the one who then stays home with the kids, while you're the one making more of the money, and be, it's the idea of you kind of change with the
But
times, or you
Trey,
change with the
somebody
roles
still gotta
and
take care
what
of the kids,
happens.
right? Somebody still
Hmm?
gotta take care of these kids that we done made.
Yeah,
So it's
but
somebody. So it's me or you. Somebody still gotta take care of these motherfucking kids.
somebody.
So
Well,
I,
unless you're getting a nanny, unless you're getting a nanny,
No,
because
we
you
can't
got a
trust
nanny.
Mm-mm. No,
and that's why I say it was more like communication. That's what it is, the communication. But some people still, even with communication, they still had this strong mindset. No, I want this way. That's got to be. That's to say, find someone who aligns with you, but
this
don't
is
jump away.
another thing with my obtuse ass.
Yeah.
When I have the option to have kids with my husband or anybody else, I don't want nobody else watching my kid. If it's not, well, my grandma, RIP, auntie, my sister, I don't want no stranger watching my kids whatsoever. No babysitter, no nothing. So in that option right there, I would have to discuss with my wife who's going to stay home to watch the kids. I don't give a fuck if you work from home or whatever, but I don't want my kids watching some stranger. That's just me. I don't no babysitter with no 9 to 5 with 14 kids. She got to watch and just give them cereal at 12 o'clock because it's lunchtime. No, I want my child to be nurtured, taken care of, protected during the whole day while I'm away. So if that's the case that my husband has to stay at home, so be it. That's my
Well,
old
that's
school
very
way.
traditional of you. That's very traditional of you. It's very traditional.
Yes.
Look,
I'm
I
sorry.
can't listen. I don't blame you. My child has never been to daycare. He's never been anywhere outside of school and with my
Yeah.
mama and my sister and his granddad. So he never went to.
And
But
that's it.
also that could be a problem because they also told me that my child never really socialized with other kids because he was never really around them. He was with his grandma eating ginger snaps and drinking coffee. I was like, why is my baby eating ginger snaps and drinking coffee? Like he is an old man deep down in his soul.
They
He
call us
feel like
latch
ginger snaps.
baby.
So,
He is
I'd
an
rather
old
have a
soul because
child
he's
that
eating
knows
ginger
how.
snaps. So mm,
Call him mature.
I
He's
agree with you.
mature. That's
Look,
it. He's
I
mature.
listen. I agree with you. When it comes to raising your child, it is a conversation because you are responsible for this little life. And however this little life then shows up in the world is a direct reflection of how
Right.
you raised this
And
little
I'm not
person.
raising crazy people.
So
I'm not trying to raise nobody fucked up.
listen, so you got to
Okay,
do what you got to do. But
exactly.
again, I think so. When I say, when you were like, oh, just throw this gender roles out the window. Oh no, let's not. Let's not throw traditional completely out the window because there are some parts of it that are
still tied into it.
exactly what we need to have, right?
Mhm.
Not all of it, because it was also written at a time where women couldn't work. So it wasn't an option. Like
It
it
was.
wasn't an option. So it was like
Mhm.
I didn't have the option to work back then. So I didn't have a choice. I was either going to stay at home or I was going to be a maid. That was my options. So so although we have evolved as people, some parts of it still isn't wrong. I mean,
It's still
mm,
it's you know the crazy part about it is the hundreds of years that we are as a civilization, we are still growing.
Yeah.
So you
mm,
have to look at that like with men. They say men don't mature until they're in their 40s. You know, they don't know what they want until they're in their 40s. So hundreds of years of civilization between the suffrage of women, men taking over shit. We're still developing over it. We're still growing through it, and it still needs to be transformed. We talk about reform the police. Fuck reform the well, yeah, reform the police, but reform those
hold
gender
on.
constructs.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
so
on.
I think we're in an age where things need to be reformed, need to be restructured because we have evolved past those basic things. And another thing, this is my opinion, and I'm sorry, men, anybody watching, women have evolved past men to the point, again, those gender constructs, don't judge me, because they had to take over the point of the man when they weren't supposed to.
When there's the absences of men.
The absence of the man made the woman have to take on those constructs, have to raise those children. Just like Trace said, I don't know how to raise a man, but you're still raising a man.
And she didn't like it, so she had
Yes,
to.
you like it, but
That was
because
what part of
but
what
you have to understand that the evolution of it is forcing women to do so. Just like the evolution of us being gay. We're not fucking sucking dicks in the park no more. We have the option to go date people,
You sure?
have
You sure? Because I heard, because what, when you was like 25, 26, that might have been you though. But okay,
Oh no,
I'll
that
let you
wasn't. I
have
could
that.
go. No, I was G on mine. I was. I would never take no dick in no park. Let's get that
Okay,
to the table. Let's get that to the table, bro. I ain't never. Not
yeah, like
because
That
I'm a
never.
lady. You know what I'm saying? I keep my
I'm
no.
a
I ain't
lady.
never. I ain't never. But that's what I'm just saying. Just for evolution between the gender roles, and that's why I say those constructs are kicked down because we've all defeated them. Even though you say what you, Tracy, you are allowed to have the mother, the father, the husband, everything, but these fuck niggas in this world have pushed us to the point where we have to go otherwise, and women more so have proven otherwise.
right. So there's the article mentioned more things to it, so we're gonna briefly go through it and then we go to the next one. They said in your relationship in the values, determine who makes the decisions. All right. So think about your own relationship or relationship you had in the past and who made the more decisions than the other ones. Like traditionally speaking, men are more dominant and women are more emotional and everything. This is like some typical. It's not like every household, but that's like what I'm saying. We are trained to believe that from birth. Use the tool to reinforce gender norms. The church and many other religious organizations teaches believers that their hierarchy on the home is to honor the man as the head, followed by the wife and then the children. Thus, family dynamic is God's order, and thought process has spilled outside of church doors and into everyday society. Move away from traditional gender roles. More modern relationships involve two people who share the power and decision-making ability in the home. Collectively, both parties addresses issues and come up to make the decisions, the best solution. To be more successful in your union, there must be an agreement about who makes the major decisions. When it comes to relationship, it's the person who make the head. I'm briefing the last paragraph. Whoever's the head who make the decision, does y'all come together to make the decision together? Is it supposed to be a 50-50 type of thing? Or does the woman make more decision of the household and the children and the man make the decision mostly of the finance or vice versa? And establish a healthy flow of communication will prove to be influential in both keeping order in your home. So what you think about that in the decision making process? It's all boils down to communication, but what you think about what the paragraph stated?
I think that's some bullshit again. It, bro, I got brothers. Uh, I don't. Well, a lot of heterosexual men don't share their emotion, But I can tell you that niggas be crying on their wife's shoulders when shit get hard. They try to act like they're super strong, like don't nothing phase them. But when they have that soft space as the woman's bosom, that comfort place, they gonna go there and cry. And only that woman knows how he can cry and when he's stressed out. And I think it's an air that men put on as I'm strong. I don't care. I have no emotions. I'm supposed to do this. Let's play dice. It's like it's dumb as fuck. Because in reality, the women that they are in love with, that they bed, know more of their emotions than the world does. And I think that's the problem.
So you're saying because men don't tap into decision, their own emotional side, they not good to make lead decisions.
Women make the most. He bringing the bread. Bills are still going to be paid. He's not paying them bills. He probably don't even know the last digits of his bank motherfucking account. But I bet you his wife does, if it's appropriate. I bet you she does. I bet you she handles all that. I bet you the electricity bill get paid. He don't even press number 1 on the phone. Please press 1 for English. Please press 2 for Spanish. So, I bet you he don't do that. But I bet you the wife does. So again, the transference of how we look at how people are handling things, it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. This is like no. No, because women handle a bunch of shit. Come the fuck on. I'm a whole homosexual over here. I know the power of a woman. Come on, get out of here.
Tracy.
Who wants to buy sperm? Because I can help it right now. Who wants to buy sperm? Because I can be a great father. I can be a great father. But you're not blinking, but come on now. It's a lot of independent bitches. Put your hands around here. Put your hands around here. It's a sorry.
So I will say this. I'm torn because everyone is quick to say like, "Oh, you're a black woman, you're so strong. Oh, you're a black woman, you're so strong." Fuck, I want to be a white woman. I want my white woman tears to matter just as much as these white woman tears matter. Why is she a woman and she gets to be soft and her tears matter so much, but my tears, suck it up, girl, you strong, you could do it? Absolutely not. I'm a woman at the end of the day. I don't need to always be looked at as strong. At some point, I don't need it. I don't always need to be the strong one. I don't need to always be the one that's like, oh, the backbone of the family. You got this. Da da da. I also don't need that. I don't, because I also then is one of the reasons why heterosexual men don't feel like they have as much responsibilities, because they know, oh, she can do it. She'll figure it out. She'll be okay. Absolutely not. I need my tears to be just like a poor white woman tears. I'm gonna need to be just as sensitive and soft as she is. It turns into the whole, don't make me have to be all of these things, because we're taking the responsibility from this other person and giving it to me. I don't need any extra responsibilities. I got enough. Like I have enough. I need some of the responsibilities to be put back on the other person. Like, nobody wants to be the all in the relationships. Like, you wouldn't want to be with your husband, you have to do all of everything. No. That wouldn't be fair to you either. You wouldn't want to be the one that's like, oh, well, you got to do this, do that. Oh, well, he'd make the money, but you know what? He ain't good with paying bills, so let me pay all the bills, put some on auto pay, take some off auto pay. Let me cook, let me clean up after the kids, let me go to work, let me go do this, let me potty train the kids, let me do this, let me do that. Oh, because you know how? Absolutely not. I'm gonna need some of these responsibilities to be put back where they belong. I don't need them all, and that's the point of having a partner where.
The power of a woman, just like you said, everything again is validated, but the power of a woman is kind of like, fuck you, I can do everything. Contrary to, I'm not okay. All the men listening, they they are void of emotions, and those emotions allow you to take care of things regardless. Okay, not to be misogynistic, not to know misogyny. It's business need to be taken care of all time, and a lot of percentage of men don't have that. They don't facilitate that in their brain. That business needs to be taken care of. Your family, your life, your wife, everything is a part of. I'm not saying it as a business, as making this cheap change, but it needs to be taken care of. A lot of men check out where women don't
Yeah.
check out, don't have the option to check out. And so that's where you just handle business. And that's why I say it's a double edged sword, because you're still going to do what you have to do. And I know it's unfair. Again, it is completely unfair.
No,
I'm
no.
not
Oh no.
counting that at
I,
all.
I agree with you. I agree with
But
you.
then but that argument, it's like, um it's like you being what it's like me being a abused foster child and wishing that I had my mother and my father, but I still survived it. Not We're not victims, we are survivors of it. You are a survivor of it. So in my opinion, it's like, fuck him, let him be stupid. You missing out on these children, you missing out on me, my sweet puss, and everything. So go be a fucking bastard. And I can handle it, but that's the way of survival and the way we handle things. And again, not to discount how you're feeling and your points are valued. I see them, but come on. These are the constructs of men. Men have built this whole fucking structure around us, the systematic pressures and everything, even to how they view you and how you're supposed to act as a woman.
Thank you
Even
to Cola. Thank you so much.
from your fucking everything. They tell women how to act, and they're not even fucking women. So come on.
But again, all of this gets pushed back on the woman, and it's allowed. That's where it turns into the I have no choice, because it's allowed to be removed, the responsibility to be removed from one person and
Yeah.
transferred to the other.
Yeah.
But
We are allowing it. The same way certain things just should not be acceptable and not be allowed for other races of people, it shouldn't be allowed and acceptable for me because I'm a black woman and I'll have
And
the ability to figure
see, I
it out.
meant to something about
So,
black women
the
destroyed.
problem is not you as a black woman. It's the black man that's the problem. It is not you.
but the problem is, like, this has been our problem since slavery. Like, this is what
Yes,
Willie
but
Lynch
the problem
said.
is not you.
This is
What
what
I'm
we
telling
do.
you is
Like,
what
he said, hey, if we break a man from being this, and this, and force this on the woman, it's going to change the dynamic of these relationships, and they will always and forever be broken. And they
The
have
problem
been,
is
and
not
they will
you. You are
continue
not
on
the
being.
problem. Black women are never the problem. They have never been the problem. It was the fraction of black men that caused the problem. The black woman is not the problem at all.
Oh,
So if
we are the
anybody
problem.
watching,
Oh, no, no, wait,
you
wait,
are
wait, no,
not
no,
the
no.
problem.
All
We
right.
hold, oh, no, no, no. We hold some of the responsibility. We absolutely do, because
Because but you talk,
if
but
I know it's too much, no, no, no. Because if I know something is too much, I also have the responsibility to turn around and say, "Oh,
because
absolutely
you
not.
pacify
This is
us,
your."
because you pacify us, you pat
But
us on
yeah,
our back.
but that's also a us thing. So I don't ever place blame 100% solely on one person outside of racist. If you're a racist, then 100% of the problem is yours. Outside of that, outside of that, I never say it's always 100% of the thing. There is always some sort of give and take to a situation, where some of the problem could be mine, some of the problem could be yours. It's
No, okay,
outside
one thing,
racist is 100% them. That's a problem.
one thing I
That,
okay, this is my opinion again. I don't think, this is my opinion, black folks should not possess hate. You were taught hate. And we're talking about gender constructs. You were taught to hate A, B, or C. You were taught to hate those things in between. Because besides that, it's family and love. And that goes with the male and female roles and people inserting hate between them. So you hate when someone says this, or when someone says that, or they don't act like this. The man can't clean the house. The woman can't wear a pair of pants, for Pete's sake. You understand that women, they said women can't wear pants?
Mhm.
How asinine is that?
I
I mean,
work for a company where women are not allowed to wear pants.
I
Like,
mean
it's written in our handbook. It's still in our
that
handbook. To this
so
day,
that is
it's still
so
there.
fucking crazy. That is
Still
so
there.
fucking crazy. That is so fucking crazy.
Yep. It absolutely is. And it
Yeah.
doesn't take away from anything else that I've done or
It
had to
doesn't. It
do.
doesn't.
It's just
Pants are wait. Let's
a
get a joke in here,
misogynistic
Trey.
way of viewing what women should
A,
look like.
a pair of pants are
That's fine.
comfortable. How about that? Fuck that. Fuck all the seriousness. A pair of pants are comfortable. Saggy or tight. If I want my balls to be loose or uptight, a pair of pants will do just that. Okay? So a
I
woman
will say
has the
this.
whole thing. She can air her puss out or keep it tight. It's the same thing. Okay? So there should be no gender roles on pants. You have a gender role on pants. How less than smart does that sound? Come on. You can't
I will
wear
say this.
pants.
No. This is what I'll say, right? That is a personal preference of the owner of the company that I work for, right? And because that owner is willing to pay me equally to a man to enforce this rule, I'm okay with it because that is one of the few companies that I work for that does not have a gender pay gap. So yeah, I have some ridiculous rules when I'm in the office. Mind you, I haven't been in the office in 5 years. It's an option for me to go into the office or not. I could choose whether I want to or not. So yeah, they have some ridiculous rules in there, but I would say you okay. But then also at the same time, they tell you that
Are
as a
those
man, you are required to wear a suit every day. Although I can't wear pants, you have to be in a suit and tie. So they have some real ridiculous rules, but they will pay me the exact same thing that they will pay a man, which
but
I
are
don't know
those
of
the
another
proverbial
company
rules
here
of a pervert
that
that wants
does
to see
that.
a woman in a skirt? Are
Hmm?
those the rules that I said again? Are those the proverbial rules that man wants to see a woman in a skirt?
Like no, listen, in my company handbook, we still have to wear pantyhose. We have to wear a skirt. There is no visible
Get out of
tattoos.
here!
There is no. I swear my right hand for God. There is no tattoos. There is no piercings. When I go into the office, I have to put like either wear long sleeves or put an ace bandage to cover up. And I have
What
tattoos
in the
here.
what?
I have tattoos here.
What?
But again, they will pay me the
What?
same thing that they will
No,
pay you. And to me,
no.
that is more important than you caring about what I look like. Because I
Mm-mm.
could care less about that. If, but it's one of the only places that I've found that I am paid at the same value as a man. Most places don't do that.
No.
Amazon don't do that. Most companies do not pay. There is still a pay gap for women. So to me, it turns into what is more important: to be paid equally to a man, or to be told you have to follow this ridiculous dress code. Because men have that same ridiculous dress code that I have.
These are the
So it's
things
not
where I
just
say
women. It men got
this
their
is why
own.
I say
It's
that
weird.
the gender constructs need to be broken down. They've already been broken down. And that pay structure right there is dumb as fuck. It was created by a man. And again,
Mhm.
don't mean to be hating on all the niggas. I'm not shitting on your parade, but y'all bunch of bitches. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It
So
just
that's
it
why
I'm a lady. There's a point. There's a power in thinking of the same. There's a power of thinking of the same.
so
And when
uh
you don't,
yes, I would say this. Let me see. I mean, I won't pay. He won't pay us since 89. You said that. So I would say this.
yeah,
Thinking back on what you
it's in
said,
our handbook. It's
um,
ridiculous.
Bo was something about men not to get the responsibility, or the woman had to take more of the role and everything in its construct in the black community. Because CM mentioned that comment earlier, that how in the black communities we more into that structural social construct than other races as there. I say that because I think part of that is because many of the social construct that people in the black communities hold to they still teach them in their household and to their child. So the fault blames, like Tracy said, in both cycle, not just the man or not just the woman, it's for blaming both, because if we teach both our men and women that the value of taking care of yourself, take yourself responsibility, take care of the home, cooking, surviving, all that stuff will be good for both child, no matter what gender you are, then it would be easier for people to get in a relationship to understand that we could do this. But the fact that most, and especially in the black communities, teach their men that your sole responsibility is providing and doing finance and don't really have to be there presently, as long as you bring in the money. Into these days, as we see on television and stuff like that, we still these stuff at these people still saying this. Oh, as long as you provide, I'm good. As long as that, all that stuff. But even though they even say, "Oh yeah, I still need you around. You're not there emotionally," but it's been trained and programmed to them to even just do that, the bare minimum. So that's what it falls mostly down on the women that take care of everything else and stuff like that. So if we break that cycle of only teaching that the men only had this kind of thing to do and the woman only had this kind of thing to do, then it would have been not too plaguing us into this day. But since it's keep plaguing us and we still hold to these values, it's going to be hard to break that away if we don't break that cycle of teaching them of other points.
And that's why I feel that.
So a lot of men are down. It's only taking the minimum. They say that's what they have so many kids. They say, okay, as long as I make the money and I just throw in the money and everything, that's fine. So I have to be there emotionally. So the woman had to do that.
Child support don't pay that much. I'll tell you that right now. I do government orders for child support all the day. Child support do not pay enough to take care of no child.
You do, but I do not think that, in my opinion, I don't think the natural construct of hate is for black people. The dislike towards things, like where these gender constructs and everything in between, because we handle them, these things have been applied, implemented in our life form that are not regular. You can get through shit again, Tracy, handling shit, raising a whole child, all those things. But the whole point of hate, the dislike, I don't think that is African, black, brown perspective of things. You were taught that by Caucasians.
Oh no, it's us too. It is us too, because otherwise there will be no colorism in Africa because they're all black, but it's still there. So it's not necessarily all this or that. I mean, even in the Asian community, where all of them, if you ask me, all of them is one color, off white, they all beige to me, but they still got their own.
You can dislike something, but that doesn't mean that you hate it. You can dislike something all day, but that doesn't mean that you hate it to the point of wanting to get it to you want to dismiss it. You want to clear it out the way.
No, because they still do like skin bleaching over there and all that other kind of stuff. So there is hatred everywhere. Like regardless of where we are, there is hatred everywhere. Ours in America, ours just tends to run far more deep. And it tends to be far more polarizing, and the people tend to just be terrible when it comes to it. But there is a dislike, a hatred, things for other people, places, and everything else all over. The stereotypes of different things they tend to transcend, and with the internet, it just really makes it worse. Their dislike for different things. But I would say when it comes to like getting back to traditional versus modern, when it comes to like parenting and who the decision maker is in the house and those kind of things, I would definitely say that a lot of times we hear the idea of, oh, the men makes the decisions because they pay the bills. Like in a traditional household, that's kind of what people would think when they said, oh, the men make the decisions because they pay the bills. And then you have more like traditional households that say, oh, okay, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. You can't turn or do nothing without me. So therefore, I am a part of whatever decision you make. or if your spouse really loves and cares about you, when they make a decision, they tend to try and make a decision that's in the best interest of you
Of
because they
everybody.
love and they care about you. So it turns into one of those. uh, I mean, not to be funny, but if I'm modern and my thought process is every man for themselves, I do me, you do you. Why
Wait,
would my
wait, if
decision
that was the
making
option,
need
you
to be
leave
based
everybody
on
to
you?
the curb. Everybody be on the curb. Everybody
that
on the
that's
curb.
that's really
Wait.
what it sounds like.
If
Like,
that's the case,
okay.
Tracy be like, go with your daddy. Here's your bags. Go
Listen,
with your
I
daddy.
listen. I will tell you this right now. I said I got divorced because I didn't want more children. I don't.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, what happened?
Oh, up, she got dropped. She
She
about
got dropped out. I don't know what happened, Tracy. Let me give her the send her a link again. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next part of the article while she's waiting. Let me see.
Mizzle, stop bringing up these topics, okay? All top, bro. All
It's a-
top. All top. This shit is too much. This
oh, here she go. All right.
this is Dr. Phil, Ayana Van Zant.
People, yo, I
Yeah,
hate
they
people.
gonna drop you off. Huh? They would say, "Oh, she got too deep." The street yard said that.
So fucking
Oh
crazy. Listen,
So, the next part of the article. Well, that's because you want to finish your thought, right?
no, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I tell you, StreamYard hates me. StreamYard hates me by choice or by force. They always
wait,
fucking with
wait,
me.
wait. They see that H word. They H word you because you're a woman. You're a black woman, so that's why it's
Exactly.
targeting
Exactly.
So the next part, the 3 or 4 comment they mentioned on traditional versus modern, they said the parenting style. So traditional gender roles encourage women to be more nurturer of the family. She is positioned to softly tend to her husband's and children's needs. She prepared the meals, does the laundry, and educate the children, while the father served as a disciplinarian and provider. His presence becomes the tool for mother to evoke fear in the children. Unnerved at the thought of having to deal with an upset father, mothers often use the dominance of male disposition as a threat to whip her children into shape. Statements like, "I'm going to tell your father when he gets home," is not uncommon in traditional households. However, in modern homes, it is abnormal for the mother to be disciplinarian and the father to be the good cop. It is not abnormal.
why can't she be?
It is not abnormal. That's what it said. Now it's saying, I read that wrong. It's not abnormal. Parents, just like finances and intimacy, has the ability to ruin a relationship. Establishing a concrete understanding of how you want to parent your household is fundamental in maintaining a harmony in a family. All right, so I have seen that a lot, and I hear that a lot about how, yes, like I say, we provide like the father is more disciplinary and the mother is more nurturing. So you get the father who say, "Don't do this and that, that. Wait, I get out, beat your behind. Wait till I get your father to come home. He gonna handle you because you've been disrespectful." And that I see that a lot in the traditional household and everything. And then how,
Hmm.
um, in modern household, it's like, yeah, sometimes the woman could be more disciplinary than the father, and it's just in the modern household, and it's different things. It could be the worst. The man could be more nurturing and more understanding than a woman. Because women say a lot, "I'm going through a lot. I don't got time to be murdering and doing all that stuff. I'm going to just be scenarian. I'll whip y'all in shape when y'all get out of line, and that's it." So, how do you feel about that paragraph and about parenting style and how modern
Wait,
versus
so women can't discipline children?
no, they can't. In a more modern now, it's like that. In more traditional lifestyle, in more traditional household, and I see that still today is that the father is more disciplinary and the mother is more nurturing. That's why it is,
Hmm.
and that's in
Oh,
society.
that's
And,
bullshit. That's
and more, it
bullshit.
started getting in the more modern. It's breaking away from the traditional like aspect of that. The woman could be more disciplinary, and the father could be more nurturing, or the woman could be more provider, and the father would stay on him. It's the same. It's breaking away from the old school way of traditional values. But it's still families, it's still in our black communities. A lot of these families still practice traditional values. So how you feel about the parenting style in this paragraph? Mm-hmm. Cool. I love it. Thank you, Senna. Thank you. Are we gonna do more topics like these? Let me
This
see.
is another one of those things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been broken down, and it needs to be more heterosexuals that are discussing this topic because they're going through those things. And
I mean,
that's it.
people, men in homosexual and women relationships, lesbian
Heterosexuals,
relationships, um,
that's a man shit. That's a man shit. You beating your kids when the woman knows how to discipline the whole house. And again, I'm biased. I have more power and trust in a woman than I do in a man. Nah, because she knows how to handle shit. A man uses a bunch of aggression. Punch you in your face. Shut the fuck up. Walk away. Go talk to your mama. For real.
So Neil, I would hate to be your wife because you giving that heifer a whole lot of demands, a whole lot of work, a
yes,
whole
I'm
lot of
saying,
stuff
like,
to do.
put everything on her. You got everything.
Everything. She got it.
Yo,
See,
that's
even
You
if
good.
it's a gay relationship, you still hold your traditional values in yourself. So it could
Right.
still be the same
Okay.
in the
So
homosexual
okay.
gay life.
I have a question. I have a question for you. I have a question for you, right? So
mm,
you said that, oh, we'll give it to this woman because she does this better. We'll give it to this man, she does this better. In your own relationship, is are y'all both equal on everything, or does one person better at one thing and the other person better at the other, and you two balance each other out?
oh no,
Is
I'm
that
better.
not how that is?
No, I'm better at everything.
She's a lady, right?
Exactly.
Because he's a lady. That's what he said. So he
I'm done. Where's your husband at? We gonna ask him because I
In the
refuse to
shower,
believe that you
in the
better at
shower
everything.
over there exfoliating with the good body soap that I told him to wash his ass with. That's what the fuck it is. I'm better than everything. What the fuck you mean? That's why I said duality. Think like a think like a woman and act like a man. Not
Not I'm better at everything. I am done.
everything
I
yet.
am weak.
Oh
I
my
am weak.
gosh.
I am weak.
So they'll say I'm the ladies' man and he's the man, and I'm better at everything.
What's the
Exactly.
here? I'm like, Sir Neil's show giving us a whole lot of stuff to do on this side.
Man, right?
Like is
The
this
fuck,
for real?
man.
You giving us all the stuff? Like, give it to
Come
her. She
on.
got it. She good. Give it to her. She can
Yeah.
do it.
I
Give it to her.
I I
She alright.
I live by this mantra. Kobe or Claire. I could be Kobe or Claire. Kobe Bryant or Claire Huxtable. So you pick which one you want.
All right.
So
So
put that on the table. So if you know me on anybody, on anywhere, Kobe or Claire, and you know that's how I play. Kobe or Claire.
okay, I hear that.
So I will say this.
Mhm,
My mom would whoop me with a soft bottom slipper.
mhm.
That was that was her form of whooping somebody with a soft bottom slipper. Did it hurt? Absolutely not. It was like a soft little ballerina slipper. It did nothing at all whatsoever. But she swore she was doing something. And then if we didn't cry because it was her dress, she'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell you, daddy." And then therefore the tears would start. Because he didn't have no soft bottom slipper. That wasn't his uniform at all. Um, but in my entire life, my dad whooped me 3 times. And all 3 of them I deserved. Like I earned all 3 of them. Like I did. Like when I look back on it, like, oh no, I deserved it. But my dad also had this thing was he was like, if I hit you, I'ma hurt you. So I'm gonna need you to go on over there. Because he understood he was far more powerful than my mom was. And sometimes his level of discipline was not needed for what I
Mhm,
was doing. Like it wasn't necessary. So there is definitely a balance, but
mhm.
The
my
key word
mom's
there,
version of
Trace, was
discipline
discipline.
was
It
my
wasn't abuse.
mom's version of discipline was a soft bottom slipper. I mean, really, is that just like what is that really gonna do? Like a
Because you're
what
not
is that
abusing
gonna do?
kids.
It's
You're
terrible.
disciplining them. You're not trying to lock them in a closet. You're like and beat them. You're disciplining them. It wasn't abuse. That's different. And
Discipline?
with gender
No, no,
construct,
no, 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 no. That wasn't discipline nor abuse. That was like being beaten with a t-shirt. It did nothing. It did absolutely nothing.
But
Zero.
on the topic of gender
Zero.
constructs, you know what I'm saying? Um, like you said, your dad he knows how strong his hand is as a man. He wasn't about to put
Mhm.
paws on you like that, you know what I'm saying? And just like your mom, she wasn't going to put paws on you like that, but you needed to be disciplined, you know? And you know how people can abuse that discipline, beat you, break
Oh
your
yeah.
ribs and shit like that. Yeah.
Oh no.
So
Like I definitely understand there's a balance because you could definitely quickly, you know,
hurt a child. Yeah.
tilt over from, discipline to abuse. Like there is definitely a line there. There is definitely a line that
Yeah.
is between the two. There is a line. Um, but
Yeah.
then there's also how your children respond. Because I could say something to my son and it won't phase him at all whatsoever. And then something about the tone in the way that my ex-husband says that same thing to my son, he gets a completely different response out of him. We said the same damn thing. We said the same thing. But there is something about the tone that he uses and the tone that I use that is very different. My ex-husband also he never whooped him. He never beat him. He never did anything like that. He was more like, oh, okay, that's cool. We about to go outside and we about to hike and we about to do these military push-ups. And I'm gonna have you standing on top of your head and I'm gonna have you doing push-ups. Like he was all weird with his forms of discipline, which I think probably was a little more scary to my child than you know, me.
Yeah.
But
Those
it was
those
very
things are to
different.
put
It
you
was
into
the,
submission. Those are submission things.
kids respond very differently depending on who the person is. So some people don't have to because of the way they respond to them, where other kids may not. Like I have like my little nephew, I'm gonna tell you right now, he does stuff to his parents that he would never do to me. Not never. Ever. And he has told his parents flat out, like, oh, I ain't gonna do that to Auntie. Auntie crazy. I ain't doing that. No, no.
No,
So sometimes
no,
kids
thank you.
know who they can do certain things with, and they let things go. And kids know just as well as we know. Oh, this is a soft person. This is the person I can get away with things with. This is the things I could do. Blah 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 blah. So a lot of it does depend on your parenting style, the children themselves. Because my brother would he'll be like, listen, you can either get a punishment or a whooping, take your pick. And he would take a whooping, hands down, any day. He'd be like, give me my whooping, and I go about my business. I was like,
Like,
where I was like, oh, absolutely not. Go ahead, give me give me the chore list. That's fine. I'll take this punishment. We're just different. So it really was a balancing act of what do you want to do? So it's like, but the 3 times my dad whooped me, I deserved every last one of those. I deserved those 3 and probably a couple more because I was, yeah, no, yeah, I was all the way wrong for what I did. So I earned
yes.
those. I earned them. Like I earned them.
Yeah, share a little bit of my when I was growing up, and then we move on to the next one. But chat, yeah, I'm reading your comments, and I like a lot of your comments as well. So I'm highlighting them. Not growing up, my mother was a single parent, and she very much had no problem beating us when she beat us. I mean, it was a little excessive, a little bit at the point, but she was there. She was the type she would just switch her belt, a pipe, and everything. I was like, oh, ugh. After a while, to the point that when I got older, that she realized it wasn't phasing us anymore, that she stopped beating us. I said, yeah, because I was like, okay, whatever. It's because when you get beat, and it's not like I get beat all the time because I was a good child. Like I made good grades, stayed home most of the time and stuff. I had my moments here and there, but she was doing too much. To the point I said, okay, all right, it's
I
another
don't
beat.
know. I don't know if I'm serious right now to make a joke about it. Because wait, not you is because okay,
yeah.
when I first got in the foster home, my foster mom was a bitch. She abused me, she starved me, she did everything, and I don't have no problem with it. Everybody, I'm not telling my business. I help somebody else. Nah, nigga, no. She was no type of mother. Not until I got adopted did I understand. what what my adopted mom did and how she raised me and nurtured me. But besides that, abuse, and that's why I said just spanking on the
Yeah,
hand.
it's the line. Yeah,
There's a difference between abuse and nigga. My first stuff, she abused the fuck out of me. I'm glad I survived. I know, don't take it as me taking it lightly, but
yeah,
I'm very, by the grace of God, that I was able to get out of that, and I was adopted by my mom. And but the point of abuse,
hmm
there's a level of discipline and
yeah. It
abuse,
is.
and I was abused. I wasn't disciplined, and being ADHD, what I'm saying, all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
So there's a large difference. It's not just offense or gay. There's a large difference in whooping your child's ass and disciplining them. It's like, you know when you are abusing somebody,
Yeah,
especially a child. And most adults abuse children because the child can't fight back. There's a difference between the child being mischievous and need to be, popped on the butt or the hand and shit like that. Contrary to things that happen. So yeah.
all right. I love it. I love this. Love this conversation. All right. The last thing in this article, and then we move on to the next thing, and we're gonna talk about some of the scenarios. Um, who dominates in the bedroom? And this was interesting when I read this because when I read the paragraph, I said, okay, I understand where they're coming from because I do see that. All right, so who dominates in the bedroom? The constant expression of sexual fantasies is often seen in more traditional relationships, used for the purpose of reproduction. Traditional roles as it pertains to sexual intimacy gives very little acknowledgement or respect to the desire of the woman. In many traditional relationships, all of the power is given to the man and requires complete submission from the woman. This differs from the more modern relationships. In these partnerships, sexual intimacy and power is interchangeable. This relationship does not demand submission or nor does it bottle into sexual needs of the woman. Whatever you and your partner decide regarding sexual sex and intimacy is essential that both of your needs are met. If not, regret and resentment will build in the dissatisfied partner. Whether or not we recognize that our adherence to gender stereotypes can be innate. The moment you put a Barbie in your daughter's hand or give your son a football for his birthday, you are training him or her to understand that gender roles are not fluid, meaning there is a distinct role for men and for women. Traditional gender roles works well for many families and proves to be best method for maintaining a healthy family union in some aspects, not everyone. However, times are changing. With this shift comes less new and less rigid expectations. Individuals who reject the traditional lifestyle have a more open idea of what it means to be in a relationship. Both methods have proven to be valuable. What is most important is that you and your partner are connected and have similar beliefs regarding these roles. Instead of going against your beliefs, find a mate who is in agreement with you. All right, let me stop there. So let me show my opinions and I ask what y'all think. All right. So in that paragraph right there, the first part about the sexual satisfaction, I do see that a lot in traditional relationships that the men feel like because they the higher the household, it's their needs, it's their wants, it's their controlling nature, it's that how they want to be. They are more in tune of what they satisfied in the bed than the women are. So usually that's where you get them getting their rocks off after they come. They get over and go to sleep, and then the woman's dissatisfied and everything. So I see that a lot in traditional relationships. And in more modern relationships, both men and women need to be satisfied. That's the best sex. So we both agree and we both like what we want and we both satisfied. That's fine. But I do see like a lot of men who feel like, all right, it's no attachment to the thing. I do it, I get it done, and that's what you see a lot of men creating babies and stuff like that, and not in its formal thing because they had this innate thing. And then another part where they saying is the the toys and the children. And I know how some of y'all seen it. Like I go to baby showers, people say, you better not get by this. You better not get this. My child not gonna have this. My child not gonna use this. You better not get it. So I ain't gonna like that. I said, okay. I like, really, like, what you trying to teach us and stuff like that? What you trying to tell me? I was like, that's why sometimes I don't give toys. I just give money and that's it. You buy what you want to buy. And that's unless I know what you want. So, that aspect. So yes, it's all communication. Find someone who willing to work with your needs and stuff like that, and work with your viewpoints and stuff. So I do see that a lot. That women do express their needs to satisfy the man in a more traditional household than in more modern. And the toys thing, yes. I mean, you want to raise your child to say, listen, girls only play with dolls and boys play with football and everything, and you don't show that. It does start early young. So what y'all thought about that? I think a lot of men are socialized to normal pleasures, and a lot of women are socialized to accept it and not say anything. Oh, that's true, Sia. You're on mute. Both of y'all on mute.
Okay, off mute right now. Okay, I don't see why. Okay, I'm about to be very vulgar right now. If you're giving heavy dick, what is your point besides you coming, not making the other person come?
Who?
It's just, in general. Let's just heterosexual man and woman. Okay, you just pounding it so you to get your nut off, and you're just gonna leave her like over there. Like that makes no sense. You want to apply the penis so she can feel the whole situation. Is that just me?
No, but that's how most traditional
It
relationships
depends on the relation. It depends on the person. I'll tell you that from. It depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the person, which is why I said this is less to do with modern and traditional. It more has to do with toxic versus non-toxic, because it's the type of person that makes a difference. But I'm gonna say this: the only model that I have for a traditional relationship is my parents. And the thought of thinking of my parents having sex is just so nasty to me. Jeez, that is just. I know that's how all 10 of us got here. I get that part, but still, that's not something you want to think about. Ugh. Oh goodness gracious. Now,
Why we acting like love isn't good? Like the making of love
listen,
is
love is great, but I don't want to think about my parents having. I don't want to think about how my parents made me. Not at all. That is not the visual that I want in my mind at all. Ugh, no, thank you. But when it comes to not at all. I don't want to see my mama like that. I don't. Nope. Not. I don't want to think of that. But when it comes to giving toys or giving gifts to people with children, I buy diapers and I buy wipes. That is my gift to baby
that's
parents, because you raise your child the way you want to raise your child. There was also no football in my house, but I have a boy because I don't like broken bones. So it just really has to do with preferences on how you want to raise your children. Yeah, we ain't doing that CTE thing. I ain't got time for that. My child's in the STEM program. I need him to be a nerdy scientist and make this coin. Okay, I ain't got time.
On top.
It's just a coin. I will say this: in physical, intimate relationships, it is not necessarily modern versus traditional, because I was married to a very traditional person, in most of the aspects of life. He was very traditional.
The levels of intimacy. Intimacy is not always not bloop bloop bloop. It could be
No. I get that part.
Walking through the house, smacking somebody on their ass. You know what I'm saying? Telling someone they're beautiful. You know, a kiss on the cheek. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be bloop bloop bloop.
Yeah, I got that part. Now,
yeah, but men always think it has to be bloop bloop bloop.
Yeah, no. So
come on now,
because that was where so in that aspect he was, very traditional, and I was more of like the free spirit wild child, where I was like, why not? This seems like a good a place as any. And he was like, or not. When you was like, you a lady and you don't suck it in the park, see, that seems very traditional to me also. But okay. but again, it's just one of those things where
Come on.
yeah, okay. That's what you tell us on camera. We're gonna talk off camera. We got this conversation. But anyway,
Wait, Jacob,
fooling nobody.
boom, boom, boom,
You ain't
boom,
fooling nobody. You ain't fooling nobody. But I would say that in once you flip it, and I was with somebody who was extremely modern, but
Mhm.
still looks at sex very traditionally. And I was like, how is this a thing? Like how so again, I think it really goes down to, you know, the different personality types and what they think when it comes to, laying low and spreading wide and having a good time.
I'm calling the police
But
on you first.
I'm a free spirit, so do what you do, have fun. But you ain't gonna tell me that you
I'm
don't be on
calling
your knees in the park. You ain't about to play with me. Don't play me. Play a video game. I know you. You ain't fooling nobody. Sir Neil.
I'm calling the police on you, Tracy, because you're not playing with me.
You've been doing some
Okay.
strange things. I don't play me. I want to know about the 25, 26-year-old Sir Neil. I want to know the pre-married Sir Neil. I
told
want
you.
those stories. You ain't playing with me. I know what it is.
I gave you the first clue. It was in the Marriott. It was not in the park, okay?
That was that time. You ain't fooling me. You ain't fooling me. Gonna make me think that it was just this one time that you had a phase. We'll talk offline. Don't play with me. I know. I know.
Dakota,
I'm
who said that to you?
Can we disconnect Tracy right now? I'm pressing buttons. Can we get the fuck her off here?
Trace a part of my channel. Dakota, who said that?
I'm
Oh,
not telling her my goddamn business.
my dad was saying the hard.
No more. You alleviated, bro. No more. Nah.
You hear what Dakota said? She said I was younger. Somebody told me my daddy was hitting her hard because she bow-legged. Who said? Who said? Wow. And yeah, I like sitting. I hear what you say. You say I love a dominant man, but if you don't eat it, I don't beat it. Oh, I hear that. You better be gone, right? Let me see. What else people said? Oh, I said that already. All right,
I
y'all.
also learned that people tend to like the opposite of what they are in life.
Mm-hmm.
People tend to like the opposite of what they are in life. So normally, if someone is a very dominant person in their day-to-day life and their day-to-day careers, they tend to be more submissive, lenient in the bedroom. Because who the hell, unless they like a narcissist and then they want all control all the time. But people tend to, switch it up. Switch it up
These
sometimes.
fucking comments are fucking funny. Y'all get on my nerves.
Yes.
Mama and everybody get on these comments.
All right, so y'all, the last thing we'll talk about is when it comes to the dating world, because most of us dating scene, how we get to relationship and marriage and all that stuff. We have to date first, right? So when it comes to dating in today's world, there are a few unofficial rules that come with the territory. They put unofficial in quotes because no matter what it is, people thought that's a rule book, and there's no rule books of dating. Don't complain about your ex the entire time. Don't try to make it social media official before it actually is official or good wants to follow. But the one thing that makes modern dating so different is how it was back in the day, that there already aren't that many set in stone rules. For instance, you don't have to wait 3 days when it comes to contacting someone you had a nice date with, or even if for a reason you're interested in and ask you on a date, you can ask them. Dating today is a whole new ball game, and even the unofficial rules are often broken. One thing for sure, these old-fashioned dating rules are now a thing of the past. So the first thing, men should make the first move. So how y'all feel about that? I mean, they had a little paragraph in the middle, but I ain't gonna read that. Let's go read the topics. Men should make the first move. Let's go into this. Go down into the traditional versus modern. So men should make the first move. This is some like old dated stuff. So people in the chat, us, everything. Do you feel like, or if you're married, tell me your story. Who made the first move, and And do you feel like men should always make the first move? Or if you're a woman, you make the first move, is that a bad thing? Me, I don't think it's a bad thing. If men can make the first move, it can make the first move. Hey, you like what you see. I say if you like what you see, go for it. Because you never know. Because sometimes people's like, if you don't say nothing, you won't get fed. That's what I'm saying. So if I interested in somebody, sometimes I play both. Like sometimes I like to be pursued, sometimes I pursue. Like at times when I really want it, I go pursue. But sometimes it's like you pursue me too. But it's like, come on. It's like it's like a waiting game. It's like who go pursue first. I said, listen, I go for it sometimes.
When I first met my partner, when we met off SoundCloud, okay, everybody knows that I do my rapping shit or whatever. He's a producer, and he was just like, "Is that song about a guy?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You gay?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You gay too, nigga?" And that's how we met up. But the first day we met up, I knew right then and there. I was like, he ain't going nowhere.
Like, down.
Nowhere.
Down.
Yeah, but you have to be aware of that person that you like really like, you know what I'm saying. So it could be in any way, shape, or form. But once you meet that person, you be like, yeah, you got to grab it, and that's what I did. And I was like, no.
Oh, so you made the first move.
Yep, and I stayed in the plane.
And you gonna tell me that you wasn't in the park on your knees? Okay, try. Don't play me. I know you. Nice try.
I was like, listen. And you can ask him if you ever want to be with somebody else. Let me know. If you ever want to, I laid down the preliminaries of it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think you're falling in love in that situation, you have to protect yourself. So I was given the options of, letting him know if he wasn't in love as I was, that he can step away. And fortunately, we stayed in love and it went forward. So you have to set down you have to set down the ground rules. You have to. And when that person abuses those ground rules, then you be like, fuck you. You don't.
That's right. He set down them ground rules. His knees on the ground. He set them down. Yes, he does. Yes, set them
down. Gotta set down the ground rules. And not to mention, okay, Tracy, stop trying to bother me right now, okay? Because I got about 11 inches that is not ground. Okay?
Switch it up. Shoot. You can be on your knees. He can be on his knees next. I mean, shoot, it's an equal opportunity. I ain't saying that it was only you. I'm just saying. Y'all do blood. I'm just saying. I guess we done all been in the park on our knees with some strange things for a piece of change. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it like that. It was all of us. Forget that.
Sitting on the bench. Nah. Yeah. Are sitting on the bench. You know how to ride. Come on.
Okay. Tell you right now, okay. I don't get on my knees. I'm just gonna need you to stand up. I'll sit on the bench. We'll figure this out. See, sometimes you just gotta be creative. I feel you. Okay, I got it. I'll say this. I'm normally not going to pursue a man. I'm not. Okay. I'm normally not going to pursue a woman. I'm normally not going to pursue anybody. So it would have to be the first. They would make the first move.
Yeah. So it's all boils down to who you are as a person and everything. Like I said, it depends on the person I'm liking. Because sometimes the personality, you can tell that person is more like to be more chase or more dominant. It's like that. If I know that person is more dominant, I'm gonna let them lead and all that thing. If I was like, okay, I'm gonna edge this on a little bit. That's
let me throw this dice in here. Huh? Some guys, know whether you're persuasion. Some people see other people as intimidating. Gay or straight, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Okay, you're afraid of it,
yeah, but I also say that ain't no man gonna talk to me unless he know how to handle me. Just like I would say, Tracy, ain't no man gonna talk to, they gotta know what they about to handle. If that makes sense. what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They
that
gotta
makes
know.
perfect sense.
Yeah, they got to know what they're approaching, because it's not like you talking to some weak bitch on a corner. You know what I'm saying? It's not. No, when you come speak to me, you gonna know you gonna get the smoke. You're gonna first you're gonna get the no. That's first of all,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's gonna show where you stand as a person, an individual, a man, to persuade me to like you. And that's where strong-headed people come from. So again, no matter the gender, no matter the role, it's the strong-headed person. And that's the allure, the attraction when you give someone the fight to be like, no, you can't touch me. Don't fucking speak to me. And then they're like, how can I speak to this person? How can I get to know this person? And then they go off their way, and that's when you know that they're worth the dick, ass, or the pussy.
All right, we get it.
Okay.
I like hear that. Cinna said she liked the man to make the first move. Auntie Mama said she like to be chased, but she don't want somebody.
And women make the first move too. Women make the first move too.
Yeah,
Women, they slide the fuck up, just like men. Like, hey,
and I see
we
a
can
lot more
fuck
women is making that choices to make the first move now. I said, listen, you gotta go for it, go for it. It's like shit. But I was like, this article make it seem like a lot of people still hold to these values now to this day. That I won't pursue a man, even though I probably want to. He got to make the first move. I said, oh, he
I
probably.
get
I think it
women right
becomes a
now.
little
I
different
get that
because
with
it
women
turns
right now.
into when someone says making the first move, right? It's like you initiate this thing. Then after the initiations happen, sometimes it is more of a give and take. Sometimes you will pursue a little more, sometimes they'll pursue
Yeah,
a little more, and it could be a back and forth. But we're just saying like the initial
yeah,
first
the
move.
initial first
We
move.
tend to
And
most
sometimes you don't
people
know how
tend to like to
why
be
someone needs to
pursued.
pursue you. You don't want
Most people tend to
sometimes
like to be pursued.
you don't know why someone is attracted to you. You don't know
Mhm.
what they see, the beauty in you, whatever it is. And as I'll use this example as women, how women come and talk to me, and I'll be like, they got that flirty eyelash, like they like looking at me. But I'm like, what?
Not the first eyelash. I
Yeah,
am weak.
but you got to understand, and you got to break it down somewhere, somehow. But you know what I'm saying? You got to make
Men
it
should
clear.
always pay for the date.
So
All right.
like,
Mhm.
but that's what I'm saying. Women do approach. Myself as an example, women do be like, "Hey, what?"
He says so. He's a lady.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I am. What do you
that's
mean?
right.
Yes.
I'm like, what's going on? But women do approach, so
Yeah.
don't let that fool y'all. Women be
Oh,
like,
you know,
Yeah.
we've seen it. What
something they be
Alexis
like,
Fly Jones from Alexis Fly Jones showing how to approach a man. So we're not saying it doesn't happen. We're just saying, most of the time people like to be chased.
Yeah, like to
That's just the nature of the beast. Most of the time people like to be chased because you like to know someone is into you. That's just
but
that.
women are not far fetched from that, because, like I said, they will approach. They be like, "What's
Yeah,
up?"
I mean, some women will propose to their man. I mean, there's women that's willing to do anything. Shoot, if you want it, it's out there.
See, Takora said, she
It
said,
is
I
out
make
there.
the first move. She liked to chase. So she liked to do the, I like it, Takora.
Yeah.
Hey, shit.
She on her Xena shit. La 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 la.
So the next topic is men should always pay for the date. Now, this is the debate that has been going on for ages now and still or as today. Pay for the dates. I feel like it's a rule that I feel and that other people feel. It's like the person who asks for the date should pay for it and cover the tab. And some people might say like if the woman asks me for a date, I still pay the tab. I say, yeah, that's all part of it. If you want to pay the tab, you want to pay the tab. Like if I ask someone to go for a date, I said, for example, Sunil, I'm gonna take you out on a date. I will cover the tab. If you say, oh, you'll take me out on a date,
No,
I'll
that's
cover the tab.
incest, Mizzle. That's
Huh?
not happening. You're my
Huh?
brother. I
Huh?
said you're my brother. That's incest.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. No, I'll give an example, but I know we both. But this is the thing. So people say, well, take me out on a date and I got to pay for it, like that. But like Kyra, for example, and some of my friends, I tell them, I said, some of them say, I don't mind paying if they talk to me beforehand. Like, let us talk. But don't lead me on thinking we on a date and I'm thinking that you paying and then we on a date that I got to come in my pocket. That's a deal breaker for them. But they say, if you talk to me, then we could discuss something. So a lot of them, like, they secure and everything. So they cool. But they would say, yeah, you got to let me know. But if you don't say nothing, then I'm thinking that you going to pay for it. So I feel like
And
if
so
I'm asking someone to date,
actually levels to it right now. Like with the gender constructs, the whole point of it, like I feel that, and one option, a woman to be like, I'm paying for the bill and I'm dipping off, is one thing that's number one. Because most men think that if they're gonna pay for the meal, they want something in return, some sex shit. And they want you to be like, go to the room or something like that. But if a woman does it right now, this is how the walls get broken down. I'm paying for the bill. Crack. You don't owe me. I don't owe you shit. You don't owe me shit. I'm walking away. Because most men believe, unfortunately, if I pay for the meal, I'm taking on the date I deserve some pussy.
I don't do that. They do that. So like
It'll
that.
be a
So,
cold day in hell. Let Satan start to freeze.
but they think like
Cold
that
day.
though.
Icy cold day in hell. If someone says, I'm going to take you out on a date and then I pay, it will be a cold ice. He'll be in the back busting suds. He'll be washing dishes. I'll tell you that much. Now, if you say, hey, let's meet up here and go get some coffee, that definitely seems like okay, I'll pay my way, you pay yours. We can go Dutch, no problem. But don't say, let me take you out on a date and then you tell me I need to pay. The absolute from the pits of hell. No. Again, this is also where we drop the bar so low to be like, it's okay. Men don't need to do anything. Let the women take care of it. Absolutely not. Let me tell you, you're gonna take me on a date. You ain't not nothing that even look like puss. Not even close at all whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, like I can't put the bar in hell and be like, let the men just go. Let the men just have it. Absolutely not. I'm gonna need y'all to step. I'm gonna need y'all to step y'all game up somewhere, somehow,
All the
or
way up.
something.
All the way up.
Something. And as a lady, honey, you should know this. Get it right. Don't you dare let them lower the standards. Like, absolutely not.
Yes.
Now, it's different if you call me and be like, hey, you know what? I just really want to hang out with you. Can we go grab some coffee or something? But if I say, you know what, sir, now let me take you on a date because, I'm just feeling you so much. And then they be like, oh, here's your check. The way I would curse you out. Like, the way I would curse you out.
Didn't you just
Quickly
invite
too.
me out for some coffee, bro?
But see, now here's the difference between saying, I'm going to take you on a date and say, hey, why don't we meet up and go grab some coffee? A date implies I'm going
Yes.
to pay for you because I'm taking you on a date. Meeting up, very casual. That turns into one of those because we could meet up and I could already have my coffee. I could already have mine. You're just getting yours. It's a difference if I come and be like, you know what? Let me come to your house. Let me pick you up. Let me take you out, and then I'm gonna put the check on your side of the table.
What is you charging me for, nigga? Gas money? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so I just
Again,
think, like,
I'm
if
saying
the person who asks you to say, I'll take you out on a date, that I also will pay for it. And they'll go any places that you can't afford it either. So it's like, if I'm taking out a date and I say, and this person got high class taste, I said, well, I'm not taking you on high class restaurant. So I guess I'm gonna be taking out a date because I can't pay for that. So like, if I may have the money, but I said, look, I ain't gonna go broke just to go to one day. You not even know you're going on multiple dates after that. And you might have to go to another one. So you spending money and going on these high class dates. Go something that's reasonable in your budget. So I think some people like to flex too much.
And another thing, if the date is going well, if you guys go to lunch date, okay? The lunch date is going well. If you're vibing with that person, you're gonna go get some gelato, okay? After first restaurant, you're gonna go to gelato. Then go get something like some coffee or something. You're gonna walk and talk about it or whatever. But if that motherfucker just taking you to fucking one restaurant, and I'm gonna drop you off. She needs to win. No, because it carries on. It goes like that. It goes like that. I don't care what nobody says. Anybody who's in love knows it goes like that. You're just not going, either you're a jump off because it's restaurant, back to the room, boom, boom. Or if they're somebody that you're involved with or they like, it's restaurant, it's the gelato, it's the coffee, it's the walk. But besides that, just restaurant, they just want your pussy or your butt or your dick. So
Hey, so like that. All right, the next part, right, is this is outdated.
that's the
No,
core.
these days, it's not too safe to have somebody you don't know, a stranger, come to your house. But you date should pick the date should pick you at your home. I think in the past, like that was like a very good thing. Like we got that prom king, the prom queen, and the prom not the prom king, in the prom. The person comes to the boy comes to the girl house and they pick you up and all stuff like that. I mean, that was cute and everything as teenagers and young, but as adults, it's like, okay, you come to my house, you pick me up, I get ready, so that stuff like that, and I wait for you to come. That's nice and that's a lot kind of romantic, but now you got to be safe. You got to be careful. So the best thing is to meet in a public place. So it was like, if anything go awry, I can just get out of there or go somewhere. It's like that. So it was a nice gesture, but I think it is an outdated kind of thing because as females, and not just as females, females, you got to be safe because you don't want no crazy person come to your house and know what you live. You don't, so let me meet someone in place. So I think it is very outdated. But in the past, that was a gesture. Yes, come pick me up because that's a nice little thing. You're a gentleman, you drive or you whatever, and you come pick me up at my house and everything. So it was nice. But these days, you have to be safe. Not just for men, for women as well, for anyone. So how you feel about that? That the men should pick up, let me say your date should pick you out your house.
I will say this. I've never had anyone pick me up to take me on a date because karma is waiting to get a hold of me. Because I've left a few people. So karma is waiting for me. So I refuse to get in anyone else's vehicle because if something don't go right and you want to leave, you ain't leaving me stranded. Like I've done a few people. So technically, I personally don't. Because karma is waiting to get a hold of me, and I ain't trying to let that heifer catch me no time soon.
Yeah.
But that's just me, just off of previous experiences. But I understand the concept of someone coming to your house to pick you up, to take you someplace special, or to take you out on a date. So I understand the thought process. But at the same time, just out of, bad experiences of leaving people and I don't want karma coming for me, I'm gonna go with no. Not at all.
Not
Nah, I can't do that. I'm sorry. Mm-mm.
well.
See, I can keep that one.
All right. Well, I'm super boy. He just stepped out for a little bit. Sinner said, don't come to my house. X, I hear that. Don't come to my house. We ain't doing that. Because if you want to have crazy old dates there, you can know, now you know my address and stuff like that. I said, oh, there you go. But it's popping up and showing up. I said, that's what sometimes now I was like, usually if I'm trying to meet somebody to try and come to my house, I don't give my apartment number until I know you is actually here. So I say, you ain't getting all that extra details. No. So we want to know that. But
don't get an apartment number at all. You downstairs? Okay.
yeah,
I'll be out.
Right?
I'll be out. I'll be out. Don't even get out the car. We good.
That's well. Sure. So it is lockdown these days. The way how the word is, it needs to be safe. So through cautionary rules, just meet them in a perfect place, and then y'all go from there. So like that. But it's a nice romantic gesture for that to happen, but it is a little bit outdated. But people still feel that way too. Oh, pick me up. Go ahead, pick me up. All right. I get his opinions next when you come back on. Next. This thing that women should never reach out first. Now, I think this aspect of you talking and y'all had a good date, everything went well, all that stuff like that, and y'all clean up. Y'all guess y'all want to meet up another time. Who should reach out first? The man should reach out first to you. You should reach out. The woman should reach out first to the man, or whatever. But the aspect of the woman should never reach out first. How you feel about that? Because I feel like if it's good, doesn't matter. I think who should reach out. If you ever continue to meet out together. I think they said that because they don't want the woman to think that they're too desperate or something like that for a man or something like that. What they said, since you pursue it's all about truly care about you, but I did it was a woman can never mention, but they always have to wait. Yeah, they would have to wait. I said, okay, I'm waiting for your phone call. I'm waiting for this, and I'm waiting for you to tell me what's the next day and everything. And you might block the rest of the waiting all the time. Let me see. So I feel like it's no issue for the woman reaching out if they want to continue saying that. I say, hey, I enjoyed the date and everything. I want to continue to see more. It's something like you're not pushing. It's like that. And he really issue was he will still reach out to you, everything. So I don't know that the fact that a woman should never reach out because you might block your best. You might say, oh, you never reach out. They say, oh, she must not like me or something like that. So must never feel like that. They say, listen, she didn't tell me she like anything. So all sort of stuff. Well, how y'all feel about that? They say, since African men really love trying to come pick me up, but they're too clean too fast. Now we meet at the restaurant. I hate that. Dakota said, whoever gets home and have free time. So how y'all feel about women should never reach out first? Oh, I'll take a break.
Mm-hmm.
He said,
Sorry, I'm back.
So man, well, you missed the other part with
No, I was listening.
Oh, you were listening. So you came out. All right. So how you feel about this thing? Women should never reach out first.
Again, bro, I think that these gender constructs are old as fuck. I mean,
Yeah, that thing is outdated, but this is some things that people still feel that way
I
now.
don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say about it because it's already outdated and people have already evolved over it. So it's just like it's kind of redundant, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes evolution is not always the best thing.
But
Yeah.
but
Let's
again,
be honest.
I have no fight in the park because I'm not a
Some
heterosexual
parts of
man.
evolution is not the best thing.
I don't know.
Uh,
That's
I will say this.
shrug shoulders. I don't know.
I don't, but I don't reach out with no. Okay. It will depend on the circumstance if I reach out first. If it was a good date, it was a good time, and we were both vibing, it was cool, then fine. But if it was one of those things where it was like, I don't really know, I don't, I'm kind of on the fence about the feeling. Oh, now I'm gonna
Mhm.
let you reach out first, because then if I never hear from you, then you weren't feeling it the same way, or you were a little awkward about it the same way I was, and was just in that space of I don't know. Because
It's it's
sometimes
it's
you don't
it's so
know.
it's thick because you know what? You know, one thing I would say about this is that if a woman feels a vibe with a man, she will be the first to reach back out. Contrary to
Hmm.
the man, you know, thinking that I don't know, maybe he's thirsty or maybe he's gonna be stalkerish. You know what I'm saying? But that's when a woman's reaching out after the first date would be like, hey, let's go out again. I think that's suitable. And it's not the first date. I would say, in my opinion, it's the second date. So if she went out on the first date and you guys are just like, oh, I don't know what happened, you're questioning everything. And if she feels like, oh, this was a good date, then that second date and she calls and approaches, I believe that's appropriate, warranted, and I don't want to see with these sexual things, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be misogynistic or a bastard about it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be open about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, You feel what I'm saying, Trace?
Mhm. No,
I
I
don't
do.
feel like
I do. I feel
in
like,
those gender
when it
roles.
comes
I don't
to
like those gender roles of somebody should have done this or somebody should have done that. But I don't like those things. But on a second date, yeah, if you guys had a perfect first date, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she can call back with no problem, with no it's not a point of dominance or anything. It's like, yes, I do like you. It's like the
Mhm.
flowers. Yeah, I do like you. And we can go on a second date if you would like to. You know, that's an invitation into her playing field, contrary to a man's smash and grab.
that smash
All
and grab.
right. So yes. Oh, the caller said this is a question that I haven't talked to anyone for a while. I'm read too much. Yeah. Sometimes I haven't been dating for a while too. Every now and then some people try to get on dates, they ain't date worthy. So it's all right. They
They
didn't
ain't
worthy.
date worthy.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You told me.
You can tell.
I didn't.
I know you can
Oh
tell when
shit,
they're worthy or
exactly.
not because it's like if they all their conversations are more about your body, they're more that get to know you, then you know that's more of a sexual thing than dating. So I said, "Are you willing to date me, or you just want to be in bed with me?" I'm lying. So in the first place, so you can tell, you can pick up on it. So
Yeah,
the next
that
one
comes with
is
wait, Miz, wait. That comes with the play of the sex. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's like having a good date, vibing with each other or whatever, just the dinner, you know what I'm saying, the entree, you know what I'm saying, the salad, the soup, you know what I'm saying, just chilling with each other. And after that, there's no sex involved, far in between. But then that's when the woman's like, yeah, I love your energy, your character, who you are as a man. Not you're trying to tell me that you have a big dick and how much money you got.
Bill don't even let them get on the date. He don't even accept the date. He's just like, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah,
Dang,
yeah.
no.
cutthroat.
I would
Because
date.
Don't
I
even
would
give
date.
them
Don't
the
get me wrong.
chance
I
for the
would date
date.
like that. I just wanted somebody who serious enough to date. Because a lot of people I have meet and talk, they're not serious enough. So
Well, how do you know they're not serious enough? Did
they
you
not.
go on the
The
date?
conversations.
You
It's the
didn't even go
conversations.
on the date.
No, it's the conversations. You gotta have the conversation that had to lead you to the date instead of the conversation that leads you there. They went in the bedroom because we
yeah,
went on a date and then it was like, "Don't ask for the because I didn't give up." I said, "Oh, sure." Well,
because I'm a complicated motherfucker. I'm a complicated
that's a
bitch.
whole new thing. But
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
the
somebody.
lady.
I'm
We
like,
get you. We get you.
no, me. I'm not be a hard person to get along with and try this like that. If you want to take my date, I don't mind going on a date. Let's meet at this phone. Let's show it out. It's like that. But it's like no effort,
Do
no
more,
nothing.
do something more than
Yeah,
just tell me.
that's what
Yeah,
it's
show me who you
like
are as
that.
a
And if
person.
I wanted to
Y'all are
interest
a
in somebody
mess.
and I say I want to take you out or something like that, I would plan. I'll do it. Even when I was figuring less hectic my schedule, I would say let's do this. But people don't put the effort into money these days. So
Y'all a mess.
that's next one. Wait 3 days before contacting the new love interest. Now, this 3 day rule, I don't know when this came about. It's like,
No,
but wait
no.
3 days before you contacted someone. And some people might feel like, okay, I gotta wait 3 days because I don't want to be too clingy, I don't want to be too talkative, just like that. But some people say, oh, if you wait that long of a day, some people say, oh, are they interested in me? Did I did something that I didn't like? Yeah, you like that 3 days? It's too long. It's like it's
Bro, you need
to
to
me.
stake your claim. You need to stake your claim. Man or woman, stake your claim. Put that
That's
shit
it.
on the table.
Me personally, I won't wait 3 whole days because if I'm interested in someone, I ain't gonna be like quick. It's just like clingy. But at the same time, I said, hey, I'm just I like what we've going. I like the vibe and everything. Let's meet on another time. But me wait 3 whole days, that may seem like I'm not in fit of this. So I said no. All right. Or the person wait 3 whole days to contact me back after I said something. I said, okay, then maybe they wasn't really interested in me like that. Some people might have that thought. So that 3 day rule may apply to some people if they got that rule, but do you agree with that or not? Because this has been outdated, but some people still like that. Say, you gotta wait 3 days, don't contact me so quick and everything. But
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I need, I need some sort of space. I don't need you just drop me off and then 11 minutes later you text me
Oh
and
no,
tell me
not
how
that
great of the
quick.
date was. Like I need some time to reflect on, okay, was this date as good as I thought it was, or was I just looking to get out the house? Like, give me some time to, the next day. So, you drop me off
Yeah, the
the
next
next
day
day,
is
you
fine.
text me,
For
whatever.
three
Give
days.
me a little bit of time to marinate in it. Because also, I noticed that the red flag is you a clingy, crazy mofo is that you just left my house and you texting me as you driving on the expressway. Like, bruh, you
Yep.
ain't even you ain't even good with your own safety. You texting already and like you on the highway texting me. The date wasn't that good to risk your life for. Oh, you a little touched by an angel. Oh, okay, I got it. So I don't think 3 days. I don't think
Ah!
3 days is the thing, but I do think it should be, a couple
The day
hours.
after.
Because if
The
you
day
that,
after.
if
Like
you
that.
that, you know,
Okay,
I need to hear from you, Jeffrey.
this is a male female dynamic that what you just brought up. Again, when men fall for women and what you just said, I want to go back to her right now. I don't want to leave her. But men aren't allowed to do that because how it's perceived of you being a simp or thirsty. But when they get that good poom poom, they get that good love, they run right back to it. They don't want to get off the freeway. They're like, how can I tell her without sounding thirsty, without sounding like a simp?
Yeah,
But
wait till you get home. Because why you risking your life to text
no,
me?
he doesn't want to go home. He does not want
You
to
ain't
go
got to go
home.
home, but you got to get the hell out of here. You after one day, you think you coming back to my house? I mean, I'm
But
trying
this
to be
is
a
no,
lady
the
like
point.
you.
Trace,
Trying to be
Trace,
a
the point is
lady.
that when men fall in love like that, they be obsessive. They be obsessive. They're like, I'm not
Okay.
going
I've
anywhere.
had two
I'm staying
restraining
on
orders.
side
I
of the road.
understand. Joker's crazy.
They
Look,
do,
I've had
but
two restraining orders. I get you. Okay.
wait. That's the whole point.
Touched
Is
by an
that
angel.
people understand that? Yeah, he's like, no, I want to go back to that sweet BJ. I
Yeah,
want to
but that's
go.
a problem too. I don't need you restraining order crazy either. Like there needs to be a balance, which is
There's
why I
levels to it.
said
There's
the
levels.
next
There's levels.
day. The
Levels
next
to
day.
it.
I don't need you
I
texting me
agree.
on
I
the
think
highway.
after the date and everything, and then if I go out on a date with someone and we had a good time, and then we both go home, and they say I had a good time and everything that night and everything, it's good. And then the next day you want to reach out, that's fine. But right away, it's like that. Let's get time, like she said, let's get time to marinate, enjoy it, and so like that. And then the next day it's fine, but I don't think you should wait 3 days before you contact this person. Now, then you go start thinking it's like, oh well, I'm not really interested. He's probably not
Yeah,
interested
so
in
you
more. So
think you're just an opportunity. Like you're just that person's available because after those 3 days, because they want you. But I believe that if I do believe in falling in love at first sight,
okay.
um, I do believe that is people fall in love at first sight, and it could be your one night stand, your threesome, or your fuck buddy in Mizzle words.
Like,
But I do believe in falling in love at first sight. I do
I mean,
believe
that's
in
the
it.
thing. I don't
Look it.
discredit that. It could happen.
Oh no.
So,
Again,
so anybody,
I
you
I
fall in
just
love,
think again
you
it's
fall in
one of
love. It's like
those.
you shoot your shit. You either get turned down or you are able to get your
But
goal.
sometimes do you
So,
fall in love
if,
or do you
so
fall in
Tracy,
lust?
so
That's
Tracy,
real
That's what I
okay,
quick.
think. It's another
lust
lust.
is
It's more
different.
lusting than loving. I think it's more lusting.
Yeah,
That's
no,
real
lust is
quick.
different. But if somebody is to one night stand, dinner, as we explained, you give it up, boom, boom, and they're like, I like this person in general. I like the date. I like the poem. What to do? You know what I'm saying? And when that person comes back and they're what's the word I'm looking for? Turned away, it you know, and it's like I'm trying to tell you like, oh, I like everything about you, but you're like, oh, it's too soon. It was only one date. It was only tea and coffee and crumpets and
But if
pizza.
it was one date and I already give you the boom boom, then I guess I mean, I'm clearly open up to something unless it was trash, and then if it was trash, then maybe I wouldn't be open to it. But
But these
I would
okay, back
I
to our
would
gender
say,
roles. Back
yeah,
to our gender roles. You would
yeah.
say that because of how fast it was, how fast everything went, this person is disingenuine or not worth, you know what I'm saying, my time. And no, but this person within that, what, a date is what, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you had sex, and that's what you all was together for 3 hours. If that person's like within 3 hours, I want to love this bitch.
You know what? Okay. So I had a date that we went to dinner at 6, and I got home at like 2:30 in the morning. It was one date. Home at 2:30 because we just was having a ball, hanging out and stuff like that. And then I got a text that like once I made it home, like, hey, I made it home safe. And then I didn't talk to the person until the next day. And then we dated for like a year and a half. So I understand the concept of, hey, things moving quickly, things progressing fast. But he actually made it home when he texted me, hey, I made it home. I had a good night. He wasn't on the highway about to lose his life trying to talk and text like a cuckoo bird.
That's what she
Cause
said. She said it's just no
again,
problem within the same day. Just
yeah,
get home
just
safely and get home and relax, and then you can text me and it's fine. And then the next day you hit me
yeah.
up. It's
There
fine.
needs to be
But
some.
don't wait 3 days though. If you wait 3 days, then I can say you might not be interested in me. That's what some people might think. So it's like that was the whole thing. That some people had that 3 day rule, but now it's outdated because now people's like, oh my gosh, like what's going on
You
here?
had the 3-day rule when you didn't have call waiting. Like, okay, way back then where
Wait,
it wasn't
wait, was
call
the
waiting.
call Tracy star 619 or star 627?
Yeah. But listen, I'll say it like this. I don't have a problem with people dating multiple people at one time. I mean, as long as you're not sleeping with multiple people. Well, I guess if everybody's okay with y'all all sleeping with multiple people at the same time, I guess that's different. But I don't feel like people can't date multiple people at the same time. So maybe, you need that 3-day buffer window because you had something else going on. I mean, I ain't knocking you. Do what you do, player. Make it happen.
Yeah. So the next part is something Senator was bringing up about the sex. Don't have sex until at least the third date. As this has been outdated as not
Boy,
as
bye.
so like that. People still hold to
So
that.
how soon did you bend it over and bust it open? How fast was you just giving it up?
Who?
Who?
Both of you, because y'all was like, "Oh, this is so outdated." How fast y'all
No,
be
the
giving it
sex on the
up?
third date. No, I'm saying sex on the third date. I'm not gonna wait the third date to that. This is the traditional value that people
I'll be
say that.
honest. The first
Me,
thing
I feel like
I
it's
met my husband, I busted it wide open
it's the
and
chemistry.
put the dick on the table.
Let's go back to this. Let me say this is outdated because I feel like who you have sex with, it depends. Some people you have sex with is right away because the chemistry is so undeniably strong. You have sex with. Some people you wait a little bit long because you want to feel it grow accustomed to. So I have people that I had sex with the first day. I have people that had sex. I wait a while before I have sex with them. So it depends. But to have that 3 days rule for everyone consistently, or not on the 3 date rule. I say some people might not even get to the third date. Say because it may be time schedules, the time plans like that. So, like, yeah, Auntie Mama said, within the first time you meeting the person, whether you gonna give him up or not. It's like I know in the first hour if I'm going
And you know this shit came from Girlfriends, the
whether or
sitcom.
not you get it in the
Shelley
night.
Wrong.
Whether you not you get that night is a different story, right? So that 3 day rule is like, okay, every person I go meet with, I'm not gonna have sex with them until our third date. It's like that. Now, if some people might okay with that. Me, it's all about the chemistry. I would like to wait, but sometimes it doesn't happen all the time. It's like that. So, like I said, I don't think I would wait for every person. I will do the 3 date rule for everyone. That's my opinion. So, what y'all think about that?
I believe, like, get it where you fit in. If you feel like that person ain't worth the time, get it. You know what I'm saying? But if you feel that person is worth the time, then you should wait for it. I mean, bust a nut. I'm sorry, that's explicit.
But if sex itself is the deal breaker, or is if the sex is good, I ain't gonna you continue having them more after that. Is it a deal breaker or
Another
not?
thing, another thing, like you've been, it's levels to it. It's levels to everything we've been speaking to during this conversation. It's levels to it. So if you want to get that nut, bust your nut. Male or female, get that shit and walk the fuck away. If he's a dirtbag, if you smell he's a dirtbag, like if he has a dirty car or his sneakers are dirty, it's like, it's like Wait, if it's like like you just trying to figure out what the pool look like, what the dick look like, you know. So and walk away. But if you feel it's love, if lust, it's up to that person. Mm.
Tracy, what's your thought?
Tracy, like I'm about to
Let
get
me
all
take
my.
my germaphobe. Let me take that idea, that construct out of it, because I ain't sleep with nobody till I get some test results. But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
After that, outside of that, if I take that piece out of it, I don't necessarily have a specific threshold to meet. I'm not like, oh, 3 days. I'm not like, oh, 90 days, 60 days. I don't have that. It definitely goes by the chemistry that I have with the person to determine, when I do whatever it is that I do. Um, so am I opposed to sex on the first night? No, not necessarily. Am I down for it? No, not necessarily. Um,
Yes, you are.
do whatever works for you. Who is? Who?
You know if
Shit,
that dude
let me
is
tell
good,
you.
you about to get down on it. Stop playing.
Listen, I'm telling you right now. I
You
need
gotta
test
find
results.
out.
I need test results, but I made that very clear to somebody from like the very beginning, and he brought results with him on the first date. He was like,
I'm like,
"Say it with your chest." I was like, "Wait, what?" He was like, "Say it with your chest." He was like, "Just in case." I was
and
like,
what's your results? So you said that?
I was like, "Oh, you got jokes." I was like, you got jokes." And he was like, "Now you said like, oh, that's a thing for you." He was like, "So we just go, wash that off the table right there, here and now." So it just depends on the person. Some people like, because sometimes you talk to people before you actually go on a date with them. So you have conversations, you have different things.
Yeah,
So they kind of understand who you are as a person a little bit
yeah.
before
Mm-hmm.
you technically go on your first date. Now, there has been people who you meet and immediately go on a date with, like upon meeting them, and you don't really know this person. You don't really have a background or information or knowledge of this person. And, you know, you just kind of figure it out as you go along.
Yeah. You know you that for, but you're a lady.
Listen, I have no problem doing what I do. Again, he brought his test results the first night. We got it in, and we was together for a minute. I have no problem with that. I don't. Again, I don't have a problem with anybody doing whatever it is that they want to do, whenever they want to do it. But it goes by your chemistry with
Yeah.
that person. Because again, you have somebody who you don't have any chemistry with, don't really necessarily like, you sleep with them, and you find yourself stuck in this situation you don't really want to be in because it's good. Like, you like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. But you
Mhm.
are trash. But it's good though. So you kind of stick around and you really don't want to. I mean, you know, things happen. You just gotta be careful.
All right.
Listen,
Let's
okay.
see.
I got my test results. I have my app. Like, pull up my chart. Like,
Oh,
see, I'm
well,
good. I'm good. Whatever you
so to
do.
go with that,
Um,
what about oral sex on the first night? Sex, oral sex is sex. So, but if you give oral sex only on the first night, um, mm. It's like I said, it all boils down to the person you're dealing with. Because the person you might be interested in, you like, you might get it down and dirty. But I don't know, because I don't go down everybody. No, I don't. I really don't. So I don't.
I will tell
And
y'all a little
you ain't sucking
story. I
nobody
was
dick.
young.
You
I was
ain't doing no
dumb.
good
I
night.
was stupid. I was young. I was dumb. I was stupid. Shoot. I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved in with somebody after our first date, after our first night together. We stayed together. I stayed with him for like 8 months. It was shamefully sad. I was just, doing stuff because I was bored. Felt like a good thing to do at time. I mean, whatever works for you. I don't knock nobody for what they choose to do because I've
Yeah.
probably done it once or twice in my life. So that's why I don't judge nobody. That's why I know Sir Neil was in the park on his knees, but he tried not to play with me. But it's okay.
Yeah, okay, Trace.
I love you anyway, boo.
Tracy, you keep just no. I was never on the parking lot. No, that never existed. I know. Okay, that never existed, bro. Listen, I was a fast pass, but it was never in a park.
All right.
It was at the beach. My bad. I
No, it
apologize. It was
wasn't.
at the beach.
It was never no park. Yeah, not no beach.
It was at the beach.
No.
It was at the beach. It was on the sand. The sand is softer than the grass. I got it.
I'm about to call the police on you, nigga. Someone please call 911 because I've
The
been
sand is
shot
softer than the grass. I got it. I ain't
down
knocking you.
because I'm a lady and I don't do with those things, okay?
All right. So, y'all, the next thing was always give someone a chance, even if you aren't interested. I guess what this paragraph was saying is that I guess in the past, woman was always courage to accept any date or any person who will give them attention and go along with them and go out on a date with them, all that stuff. I feel like, yes, I do give people a chance, but at the same time, if I got to be interested in you in some way, shape, or form for me to continue going on a date with you or continue going out. So it had to be something that made me liking you, like that. Now, whether, like, say, for dating outside my race, I have dated outside my race before. It's like that. I give it a chance. I said that before. I never denied that. I never denied that. I had dated outside my race before, and I gave it a chance, and I had a good time. But it was a lot of interesting and attraction with the person. But should you always give somebody a chance you're not interested in? It's up to you. But sometimes you might block your blessing if you don't give people a chance. But I'm not gonna go tell this woman in the world. Somebody actually go on a date, just go on a date. No, you gotta be some interesting in levels of interest with the person. So whether they tell a woman in the past, you gotta go on no matter what. Now women have more choice, and not just women, anybody have more choice on what you want to be with, and it continue on. So always give someone a chance if you're not interested in. I don't think you should do it, but if you want to give somebody a chance, it's up to you. Let me see before. How you have to think about that?
I'm not giving nobody no chance that I'm not interested in.
Yeah, see?
Because
I would.
Because I'm a persnickety bitch. And I believe the attraction goes first. So if I'm not attracted to you, it's like you laying with a lame dick. You know what I'm saying? And okay, like a woman that just lays there and be like, oh yeah, just fuck me. Like she doesn't push back or give.
Oh yes, be my white woman tears. Wait.
Yeah, she just lays there.
Do
like,
me,
me,
yeah.
Yeah. Work it everything.
My energy, bro. You're not. No, I'm not fucking with you at all. No, I believe that the energy of that transaction of the beginning of love needs receptacle. It needs to reflect.
Yeah.
And I believe that. So you can't just. Besides that, you're a fucking stalker. You need to know that that person is in love with you or admires you the same way. You know, because it's like a one-way street. If you don't understand that that person admires you or wants, it's you're going up a hill that you're going to. So I agree with that whole point of you falling for someone in that way, but if they don't reciprocate it back to you, you're not going to do a good job. Sorry,
Tracy.
See, I believe in always giving everybody a chance, and that's just equally across the board. because sometimes that isn't the person that you're meant to be with. That person is brought into your life to teach you something, learn something, figure out something. So it isn't always necessarily because you can go out with that person and be like, you know, we are much better as friends. But I learned X, Y, and Z about blah 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 blah. And it doesn't always have to lead to something because sometimes you learn what you don't like just as well as you learn what you do. But you never know if you close off to something more than anything.
True.
All right. Yeah.
Bo, 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 bo,
Yeah,
bo,
that's
bo.
it. Absolutely. And you never know who you might be open up to if whoever you meet if you close yourself off with a certain type. It's like, okay, this you not that's it.
Lies, but I don't do short people, so I forgot to throw that piece in there. I just don't do short folks.
All right.
I discriminate.
All right. So the next thing was there was some other ones like in between was don't kiss on the first date and let the person do all the planning. I mean, we touched on that a little bit about sex and all that stuff. That
No,
kiss is
you
part of
should
that.
kiss on the first date. I like that. I don't
Kiss
know.
is part of, kiss is part of the package. So, but like I said, I think I need to know how you feel how to kiss it because you can tell the person about to kiss it.
Good. I think that's romantic. The kiss on the first date. That's opening up the package of intimacy.
Yes.
Just allowing that person to first kiss.
Yes. So the kiss tells you a lot about the person. So it could, if you, I mean, some people say they should never kiss on the first date, but hey, if you want to kiss on the first date, it lets you know. Hey,
I'll say this: I don't want somebody to take me on a date and then I have to plan the whole goddamn date. I'm not trying to be one of those black women that Sir Neil trying to turn me into where I got to do all the work all the time.
everything.
So I'm gonna need you to plan some of this, okay? I'm gonna need you to do some of this.
Yes.
Something.
Yeah. If you ask me on a date, at least do some planning. At least have some sort of planning involved, right?
Yeah.
Like that. And then we on a date, and we want to improvise from there. You can improvise from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I'm not saying nobody's wrong. These are just different opinions of us falling in love.
Sir Neil, you know I love bothering you. Oh wait, Sir Neil, I don't know if you watched, but when Mizzle first did his like that little game that he played, I was like, oh, with this threesome, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to get August. I'm gonna need Sir Neil to take one for the team for me though. I'm gonna tag you in, bro. I tagged you in.
Wait, bro, you know I don't even like the light skins like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Look, I was like, that's why I had to tag you in. I was like, take one for the team. Me and you.
No,
you had to take one for the team.
Pass them off to you. I'm gonna pass them off to you, bro.
No, it was a team player.
I told you I can't take August. I thought somebody else
was a team. You had to take August. You had to take it for the team. You got it.
No, I'm taking Chris Brown. I'm taking Chris Brown. You can have Trey and the other.
Nah. You had to get August. You had to get August. I believed in you. I believed in you. You got this, bro. You got this.
I'm leaving his ass up at the bus stop. That's what I'm doing. Oh God. On cheese and rice. He is not no.
You got this, bro. You got this.
No. Okay, I got this. You got Trey and August, and I got Chris. You said you got this.
You got August. You got it.
No.
What's your next question? Let's move on.
You got it. The next one is they said avoid discussing serious topics. I know in the past people say, oh well, don't discuss no seriousness in the first date or whatever. Don't discuss no seriousness because
like August is
it's a deal breaker. It's just like that. But now these days, you have to discuss those topics. You don't have to be so deep in a date, but you have to discuss things like what's your plans, what's the long term children? Do you want to get married? Do you want to pursue a relationship? What's like that? How you like the values and roles and like just stuff that you should talk about because you never know. You don't want to get yourself in a situation that you don't know nothing and you just continue on with the live with the person and you have no
understanding. Right. The serious discussions, Ms. is well for me. I I need to make sure that you take care of the environment. Like you don't use plastic bags. like those are the serious discussions that for us to go forward. Because, yeah, we're going to have a serious discussion. Um, do you believe in biodegradable situations? Do you believe in saving the whales? Yeah, those are serious discussions that people don't want to have. But yeah, for me to go forward with you, we're gonna have those conversations, bro. At all,
Yeah, you
all,
need to have those serious discussions,
all
serious
time. Because
topics.
if you're
You need
trying to
to
catch
know.
ducks and swans and shit, I don't like you. So,
Tracy, what your thoughts about serious discussions?
Nope, I'm all on serious discussions. Where was you at on January 6th? Where was you
thank
at?
you.
Was you one of them little white monkeys climbing the wall? Where was you at on
Oh, well,
January
where were
6th?
you?
Like,
For real.
who did you vote
But
for? Like,
exactly, wait.
there's some things I need to know because I can't be laying with a proud boy. I ain't got time. That's not in my ministry. So
Do
I
you know
agree.
what Juneteenth
So
is? Do you know who Rosa Parks is?
exactly,
Do you know? Wait, do we have to go down the list? Can we keep going?
Juneteenth,
I
right
can
there.
do a 10
Juneteenth.
people right now.
All
Okay,
right.
we got questions.
So the last few things we have to discuss about, it's not gonna be long. I'm looping them all together, and we're gonna see our opinions, and then we can get a little break before the panel. Men and women cannot be friends. That's one. Seek approval for your date's parents. That's two. And don't wait too long to get married. That was the last thing. All right. Is there anything
Okay.
other than? Let me see. No, it was that. That was the last three. Now,
What
don't wait
the
too long to get married.
types?
You
Wait,
all,
which one are you doing?
I'm looping all three, but I'm gonna discuss the first one. Don't wait
Wait
too
too
long to
long
get
to get married?
Yeah, I'm gonna discuss the last one first. Don't wait too long to get married. We all have our own timeline when you want to get married. Now, at the same time, I don't want to be that one person who wait 10 to plus years waiting for a marriage with someone and not know. Like I said, I think I mentioned it on my put a ring on the discussion. We could get married by the fifth year, by the fifth, sixth year. We were dating, 3 years in relationship. We could get engaged, joint engagement 1 or 2 years, get married, and stuff like that. That could be done. But if I'm going past 5 years and it's broken promises, going on and going on and
Not the
going on,
promises.
and I'm waiting, then that could be a problem. So yes, waiting too long to get married it depends on your timeline. But I think past 5 or 6 years, you should know if you're gonna marry that person or not. So that unless you can't be absolutely sure.
The problem is, after 5 or 6 years, if that person's still with you, what's the use of getting married? That person's still
It holds the benefits getting married though. You could be in a union and still have no benefits of marriage.
That's only on paper. That's only to tell people that you're married.
But to say this on paper, a lot of things on paper, but it still holds some values.
Absolutely.
So it
Paper
still holds
holds
values,
value.
and it still holds thing because you could be in some states. Not every states have that spousal common law that will allow you to make decisions unless you're not married. You could be with someone for 25 years and no marriage paper and say, "Oh, well, you just boyfriend and girlfriend. You can't make a decision. You need the parents." It's like that. So it holds some values. Like I said, I'm not getting marriage.
Again, besides you brought up the topic, gender, and I tell you
It's gender thing. That's the saying. Don't wait too long to get married. So in the traditional value, how long will she wait?
I don't know. What if somebody doesn't want to get married? What if a man or woman does not want to get married?
That's something.
Should y'all still be together?
Yes, if they're committed to being in a relationship.
No, if one person wants it, another person doesn't, that's not lasting. There we go. You can put yourself in the show. Put
How
a ring
about a
on
commitment if I want something that you don't? That's like saying you want kids, but I don't. Should we still be together? I mean, those are like core things. Like, I want to get married, you don't.
That's true, but like some people don't want to get married in real life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Above that. Wait as long as you can, unless you're absolutely sure. Yes, it's fine for both parties. It's like that, but it gets to the point where
I think marriage has a tinge of being faithful, and being honest to that person. But if you are still faithful and honest to that person, you don't need the marriage. But the marriage comes with the paperwork and people saying, yes, you're married, you are a couple, but you already are the couple before the paperwork. So within marriage becomes the faithfulness, the honesty, the dedication, and you really don't need the paperwork. So it's to each his own. That's I say that
Oh,
it's
now
to
I'm giving you the side eye.
yeah. You give me the
I'm
side
giving you
eye.
the side eye.
So the
Well,
statement, I think the statement was more of, I guess it was pressuring women to marry the person because they got interested in them, so like that. They said, well, the man interested in you to marry them, but now people have more power and more choice and more thing to wait longer than expected.
and
So
this
like
is
that.
what we have
But
different
you have your
opinions.
timeline though, so everyone has their timeline, their breaking point. It's like, okay, I could do 10 years, but after that, that's it. You gotta let me know something. But
But what if you have your 10 years are already solidified?
then you should get married.
But
If
that
it was,
does that mean that you got okay? So I think where the difference lies in where it becomes a very different idea is if me and you are together and we're happy in our union and
yeah,
neither one of us is pressing the idea of marriage and it's like, oh, it's something we'll do eventually, then that's cool. But if
yeah.
I've been with you for this long and I keep telling you I want to get
And I
married
want to get
and
married, and the
you
person
don't want to
knows
get
that.
married, it puts some sort of strain
Yes.
on the relationship because the whole time I'm sitting here harboring resentment towards you because I want to get married and you don't want to get married. And then at some point, that's going to come out. That's going to come out in the wash somewhere. It's
But
going to
what
come
Sheena
out.
just said right there, marriage is unappealing. We all don't, and I don't know her sexual prowess, but it's unappealing um to some. So
To
it's
some
not a
people.
heterosexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
to some
like I
people.
said, we're not saying that everybody should get married. I'd say if you want to
No,
get
no.
married, you could get married. It's like that. But that's some discussion that both parties should have. And if that's your end goal and that's what you want, they saying why not tie that knot? It's like it's no you
Because
should that's
how many
saying
times have we
yeah.
seen where we have somebody who's been with this person for umpteen years
Yeah, we
and then
say
we
why
like,
you wait so long? Yeah.
why you wait so long to get married? And then you have other times where
Exactly,
you
but
have
you have
people who
to.
done been together 5 days and then they get married and then we like, oh shoot, you
Yeah,
got
and
married so
that
fast.
shit falls
So
apart. That
if
shit falls
but
apart.
I
But
think
again, I
where
believe that the
if
construct of marriage is between man and woman. That's my personal belief. Okay, that
I
construct
know you
of
lying.
And he married himself.
no,
I know
I'm not,
you lying.
because that was made up for some heterosexual bullshit. So how do I call my partner? I call him my husband all the time, but the world wants me to call him my partner, and I still identify him as my husband, but I don't identify myself as a wife. So it's husband and husband.
Yeah.
So but I
And
do believe that
it's
the
legal.
construct of marriage is between a husband and wife via your church and state. The shit they talk
Oh,
about.
so let me say this. When I say people like not waiting too long to get married, it is or the idea of marriage is if me and you are together and I want to get married and you don't want to get married, there's a problem because
Yes.
fundamentally I want something that you don't want,
Hey
right?
sis.
But if we're both on the same team of saying, ah, we could just be life partners together forever and I'm cool with that. And we could possibly get married one day. Let's say if you get sick and you need to be on my insurance benefits. Okay, cool. We'll get married so you could be on my benefits package. You know what I mean? Or it turns into one of those things where it's like, oh, well, we want to adopt kids and we have to be married for both of our names to be on the paperwork. So it'll be our children together. So let us get married. So I understand the concept of getting married for a purpose, you know, because no.
Oh, second time. They
She
cut
go.
her off. They keep cutting her off. What happened?
She preaching too much. That was like
No.
cut it off. She was telling the truth.
Oh my gosh. Oh, here she goes.
I am on my iPad and
Me too.
this Negro keeps FaceTiming me and I keep saying, stop doing that. And he keeps doing it anyway. Again, this is why I don't like black people. They don't listen. They don't listen. Black men don't listen worth a nothing. Okay? Just so we know. And if he happens to find this online,
First of
yes,
all,
I'm
we do
talking about
listen. Stop
you.
blaming. I'm a black man. I'm proud. Shut up.
Yes, I'm talking about you. Like this joker keep on going. Like he hating. But back to what I was saying. If both of us agree that we want to be married, get married whenever you feel like it. Get married whenever you want. If one wants to get married and the other doesn't, then we got some issues that we need to work out, or we need to go our separate ways because that's not right to the person who wants to be married. Why do you get to hold off something that they dreamed of or they wanted because you don't want it? And then you resent the person because you had to get married and go through all of this and pay all this money you really didn't want to. It breeds resentment, and that's just not, it's not good. So I don't believe in the traditional my okay. I love my mother to death. My mother is 75, so she also grew up in a mindset that her value was based on her family. Her value was based on being married, having kids, having a clean house, and all those things. That's how she valued herself. Because that's also why my mom will go to people's house and be like, oh, oh, they don't keep a clean house. Like so, but that is the era in which she grew up in. So I don't knock her for it because she birthed me. So I can't be too mad at her. Um, and she worked eventually later in life when she felt like it. But I do think when it comes to marriage, it is one of those things where if one partner wants it and the other doesn't, there's a problem. You gotta let that
Again,
person be happy.
Tracy, bounces back to the gender constructs, back to the point at hand. Um, if a woman wants to be married
Hmm.
and propose to her husband as
Hmm.
the reflection he's supposed to propose to her, but what if she's like, I'm at this point where I want to be married, and
Hmm.
years in between, how we just discussed, the 5 and so on, and the years in between. And she's like, well, fuck it. If he's not going to propose, I'm going to propose. Are those walls broken down? Is she less than a woman because she chose to propose when he wanted, and knowing that they're in love, knowing that they love each other, but he's skittish about it. He doesn't want to, he doesn't know how to do it. But since she took that role as a man, remember, men are supposed to propose, and she does it. Does that make her less a woman? Where does that take from her, or the value of s- planting that anger or staking that claim, as we said, the whole conversation?
So I don't think that a woman proposing to a man makes her less of a woman. Um, that's not what I think about her proposing to a man. Um, I think that if he really wanted to be married to her, he would have proposed.
Mhm.
So it also puts this uncomfortable situation in hand where now he is either forced to tell her no and then therefore crush her internally because now she's been rejected in a way that stereotypically we wouldn't think that a woman would ever be rejected. So that's another form of hurt that she would have on her, on top of, oh my gosh, he doesn't want to marry me. And I proposed and he said no. That's like double the whammy. Um, but then it also turns into he could pacify her and say yes, but then we turn
Still
into
don't
the
get married.
whole he's never happy. He doesn't want to get married. So you do wedding planning and he never picks a date. He never picks a venue. He doesn't, go into the
We
process
also have to
happy,
understand is
willing to
that
do it. So it's like either
we
way,
have
you
to
should never
understand.
have to force you should never force the hand of the other party
Well, we
whether it's
know that
male or female. You should never
men
force
are
somebody's
not
hand.
men are not that point of the how should I say this without being disrespectful? The planning of everything. Okay, so they'll just be
That's not
like,
true. That's not true.
some.
That's not true. Listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I never wanted to get married. I never had a dream to get married. He proposed because he wanted to get married. It wasn't my desire or my dream. I wasn't against it either. It wasn't like I was like, oh no. It's just never, it was never something I really planned or thought about. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna get married.
You just broke one of the gender constructs right there. Because they said all women want to get married and be the princess and the bride, whatever. You just said it right there. No, I didn't want to do it. Gender
Okay, so
construct.
it's not that I didn't want to. It's not like I didn't want to get married. It's not like I did
Say,
something
it's
I
not a
didn't want
burning
to do.
desire to
It
do it.
wasn't a burning
Yeah.
desire to go and like. I didn't have my wedding pre-planned, and I was just waiting to insert a husband. That wasn't my ministry. Like I know people who have their whole wedding planned out, and they just
Yeah.
waiting to insert the
Wait,
man.
that
They like,
wasn't my ministry. That wasn't my ministry.
that wasn't my ministry. That's not for me. But
Get
at the
out of
same time,
here. That
I was
wasn't my
never close.
ministry.
I was never like, you know what, I'm never gonna get married. And then I was like, oh, okay, I met you, I'm gonna marry you. So I think it's very different when you have some when your feelings on the subject is I'm good if I do, I'm good if I don't. If it happens, it happens. If that is your feeling on it and the other person really wants to do it, then it tends to be like a non-issue because you're like, okay, you know, either way, I'm fine. But this person really wants to, and it'll make them happy. Let's go ahead and get the, let's do this. So I do think that it turns into, I don't take anything away from a woman who wants to propose to their spouse. I do think it puts them in a very uncomfortable situation because if you were the one pressing marriage and he tells you no, how does your pride ever recover from that? Like,
I believe
and not to be
that.
funny, but women are tend to be more emotional
Let's go
creatures.
back to the
So
beginning of our conversation. An hour ago, and I was saying that women have they have the they have the ability to be stronger than men when they don't say that they're stronger than men. So with you proposing and knowing that you want love and that trusting in love and trusting in your proposal, you know that because same thing as a man, he's not going to get down to a woman and propose to her that doesn't love him, that he's not going to, he's not going to
mhm.
replicate or reflect off. So same thing as a woman. So those gender roles are a woman can propose to a man just as a man can propose to a woman when you know that you're in love and the one you want to be with.
Yeah, I think the problem isn't necessarily that you want to be in love or you find the person to be with. If that other person doesn't want to be married, it doesn't matter what gender you are. They don't want marriage.
They want
So
marriage.
it's not the gender that in that instance that matters. It's do we both as
Do
individual
that.
people want to be married?
If it's
Then
marriage,
it's a little
then you don't
different.
need to
But
wait too long because y'all don't go from the same place.
exactly,
So y'all just go
exactly.
along with that. But it's a
Yep.
problem where people say, yeah, don't wait too long, get married, and then you want it, and the person know you want it, but they deep down don't want it. Dagging along, you wasting years,
How about they don't know how to handle it, Miz? A lot
Huh?
of black men don't know how to handle love.
Hmm?
I said they don't know how to handle it. A lot of black men, I'll say that specifically and directed towards black men in general, not shading it, they don't know how to love. They don't know how to receive love, like they don't know how to communicate with women. So that's why I'm saying the possibility of a woman actually being like, I want to marry you, and him being like, oh, skittish and scared. But no, you're both in love. It's a point of communication that black. Okay, okay. I'm not gonna do this Dr. Phil shit right now.
Yeah, because doesn't piano. But we could discuss this another time about marriage and timeline. I think that would probably be another topic. That would be another social topic. What's your timeline?
Mhm.
What is it? Not just marriage. It could be dating. It could be things like that. That could be another topic of discussion, and it'll be interesting. Sunshine, to answer your question, when you came in, we was talking about traditional values, traditional versus modern values, relationships, and dating with men and women. So, cash out for you play. I know you. I would love to have your input and stuff like that. But yes, we will have the panel tonight. It's gonna be a lot of this stuff. We're gonna talk about some couple of things. I forgot a lot of the topics. We do want to talk about the Asian man shooting a child. We talk about somebody getting things stolen after they winning millions of dollars. We're gonna talk about Erica Safari drama. I'm tired with them. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna do that another edition of the Smash older edition. So we're gonna have a little topic discussion. Next week is Mizzle Talk. And we will talk about growing up hip hop, Atlanta. No, not Atlanta. No, LA. Never mind. Atlanta is done. So we're going to do growing up hip hop, LA. We're going to talk about Wonder World, and we're going to talk about Sisters. So next week.
Wait, Mizzle. I wanted to show you this reality show that I was supposed to be a part of that I ditched with the grace of God called Chasing LA. And
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to have a
ditched
discussion.
that?
Yep, I ditched that shit with a bullet. I ran.
Okay, you know what? We can talk about that a little bit.
And then because we can get the insides out of things in between.
We can talk about that a little bit next week. Because not all the stuff we're going to talk about next week will be in depth. Like Wonder World was very short, so we was going to briefly talk about the ladies. So we do that. So next week we'll talk about global hip hop. We can talk about a little bit of what Sunil said, Chasing Atlanta, because I saw some.
Chasing LA. Atlanta.
Chasing LA.
Oh, Chasing LA.
Chasing LA.
It's different ones, yeah. It's a lot of ones on YouTube. So the one I know most of is Chasing Atlanta, but Chasing LA. All right. Tell me about that. Let's talk about that. Yes. This was a good discussion. I did want to go on 2 hours, but sometimes when we talk, we have a good time. We go in. It'll always end around 7:00 anyway. So this was a great topic. The following Mission Social Corner topic, I don't know yet, so I'll probably decide and I'll let y'all know next week what the discussion will be about. But this past Friday, Auntie Momo and I did the encore live. She may go back doing her nightcap Fridays. It might be earlier or it might be the same time that we did it last time. It depends on people choices. If she go earlier, then y'all catch her on Friday at 9:00, something like that, and she talk about some of the shows. If not, wait till midnight time, 1:00 my time, and we talk about the live together. But yeah, stay tuned, y'all. See y'all on next week. But no, I'll see y'all in panel. Most of us was in the panel.
After 30 minutes.
Yes. So see you tonight. Yes. So I appreciate everyone, and it was a great topic. The conversation, the chat was competing with their opinions, y'all discussion, y'all deep conversations and stuff. I love this. That's why I wanted to do Mr. Social Corner, because we always could talk about reality TV show. That's what we do Mr. Talks for. But reality TV shows is social media topics, but some stuff like this, we all have.
The best part of Mizzle's Corner is everybody has an opinion and everybody's opinion is valued.
Yeah, it's valued.
No, that's not the best part. The best part is that we learn that you be on your knees in the park, baby.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Thank you, Senna. Thank you, Senna.
You know what?
To call us.
Trace, we got beef now, nigga. We got beef.
Yes.
I
appreciate so much. It is fire. Catch you at the panel tonight, because we will do another edition of the Smash Pass. F Mavic edition, and Auntie Mom will pick the picks.
I'm not dealing with this. I'm calling the police right now. Someone please call 911.
She's always gonna go on you. She always on your behind. So
she's always on me. She's like, okay, I'm not dealing with this. Bye, Mizzle. Get off my shit. I'll see you in 30 minutes.
So we got like 45
Tracy,
minutes to enjoy.
You better know. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Y'all so much. I can't. I love y'all. Enjoy. I will see y'all at the panel tonight. Let's eat up.
Bye. Get out of here.
I see y'all next week in Mr. Talks, y'all.
You guys have African Americans. I'm done. I'm
All
just
right.
how
See
you
ya.
turn this shit on?
Catch us. All right, everybody. Outro.
Fuck.
Mizzle's social corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle's social corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle's social corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle's social corner. I got a question for you.
All right, later. See y'all on the panel tonight. Love y'all. Appreciate this. It was a great topic. So y'all see y'all next week for Mizzle Talk. Okay. Bye.